Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime Symbol. First of all, if you would like to support the channel and donate to me guys, my PayPal will be in the description, so thank you all very much. I'm back with a movie guys, yes, brand new movie for you guys to enjoy. It's going to be What If Naruto Was, The Rage of the Flame Element. So let us dive into one of the most ferocious burning element guys. If you want to see more movies like these, just go ahead, you can comment your series ideas and your movies ideas down in the comments guys. Just comment on any of my latest posts and I'll be jotting them down for future use. Also, if you're new, yes I indeed have 3 more channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. I'll be leaving the links down in the description, so yeah, don't forget to go ahead, check them out and enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado or wasting more time, let us begin this now guys. We begin this episode with Kiba Inuzaka as he was knocked down to the ground. He collapsed on the ground as Akamaru jumped and started to bite the individual on his arm. Kiba Inuzaka, son of Tasume Inuzaka, was currently 11 years old. He was in the academy in the beautiful village Konoha, which was nestled within the land of fire. Konoha, the strongest village throughout the entire elemental nation. This is where the inspiring and great potential for the new future was. This is where they began, this is where they start. However, Kiba was a rather, antsy child. He always got into some sort of problem, proving his status as alpha, proving his status as the strongest. Laughter could be heard though, as the older boy who was a year ahead of him, he was no one laughing. Behind that older boy was 6 others, they all having to use their extreme strength to pin down the one that they were holding to the ground. However, his laughter caused Kiba to smirk as he jumped and headbutt the guy in his stomach, knocking him down. Akamaru making matters worse as he peed right on the guy's face and jumped off. Over to the other side, all 6 of them were thrown to the opposite side. The one they were trying to hold down burst from the center, a vicious grin on his face. They rose to their feet. "He can't beat all of us at once," one of them shouted. The young man that was looking down to the ground, his grin spread even wider. Smoke started to escape his mouth. He brought his hand up and slammed it on his chest. "Bring it on, all of you," he said, his hands crackling as you could see the faint sense of smoke because there was so much heat. He leaped himself into the group. Time skip. The teacher arrived to see all 7 boys, the 6 that the young man had taken versus the one that Kiba had taken. They were all roughed up and bruised up. While Kiba had a bruise on his cheek, he was on his feet. The other young man had bruises all over, but his grin never left his face once as he was stepping towards them as they were on the ground. "What the hell is going on here?" Aruka Mino said, interrupting. Time skip. Hiruzen Saratobe gripped his forehead as he sighed. "Again? Again?" he said, irritated by the young man in front of him, but all he received was a happy smile. He had a mixture of blonde and red hair. They lied down in a spiky way, going to the back. It was a sentiment because when he got angry, or whenever he was in the middle of a battle, his hair changed drastically. His eyes, a deep orange and golden color. His gaze was focused on the old man, but he wasn't taking him seriously. His name was Naruto Uzumaki. He's been suspended more times than he can even count, punished more times than he can even count, forced to do this, forced to clean that and that because of his actions within the academy. But he never let that stop him. Hiruzen Sarutobi did not know where this personality originated from. Kushina Uzumaki, the one that was his mother, she wasn't here anymore. The boy did not know his mother though. His mother was she was violent in many ways, but not this much. His father was calm and calculated, but this boy was hot. He burned with this flame that seemed to can never be extinguished. Naruto has gotten into at least 50 plus fights since starting the academy, and once again he was suspended. Hiruzen Sarutobi was the only reason why he was still in the academy. He should be barred from ever becoming a ninja by now, but that wasn't happening. Not to say the others weren't punished, because Naruto and Kiba did not start this battle. It was the others. Kiba also got suspended as well for fighting too much. Once again being yelled at by the Hokage, Naruto did not take it seriously. Naruto Uzumaki was now making his way, Kiba Inuzaka by his side. They were suspended from school, so they really had nothing to do. Kiba's mother was pissed at him, really so. The Inuzakas could be very ferocious in many different ways. As Naruto really didn't have anything to do right now, he was bored. But that was bad, because when he got bored, things became really bad. Kiba met Naruto a long time ago, even before they started the academy. 3 boys, around 2 years older, wanted to bully Naruto. There were certain factors behind that. Naruto was seen as a pariah in the village. Kiba believed it was because of Naruto's rage. However, back then Naruto was a small child and he bested those 3 bullies, having strength that was much greater than theirs. Kiba was fascinated, seeing someone his age being able to do that, as those bullies had been giving him a hard time. He wanted to know how did Naruto become so strong while he was still so young, and the first thing Naruto did was punch him across the face. Ever since then, they've been good friends. A rather crazy friendship, but they've been good friends. Kiba Inuzaka had a rather wild personality, but Naruto's personality was much worse. He was easily angered, but Naruto lived for battle. He didn't know why, but from the moment he gained awareness, he wanted to be the best. He wanted to be the strongest. And with that rage, with that continuous pushing himself, there was this hot flame behind him. There was this burning sensation in his stomach that simply wouldn't allow him to rest. When things became rather intense, the flames came out. They did not remain inside anymore. They came out as a living inferno. So that was the life of Naruto Uzumaki, a very problematic child. The child that everyone saw as, dangerous, gaining the reputation as the most fearsome within the academy. The bullies that were older than him that liked to pick on the younger ones, he bested all of them. And it wasn't 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 or 3-on-1. It was always 6+on-1. And Naruto Uzumaki always came out on top. Time skip. The final year of the academy, we once again find Naruto Uzumaki. But this time he wasn't fighting a bully. Standing across the other side of the field, speeding forward, both boys, fists clashed against each other's face as their heads snapped to the side. Sasuke Uchiha slammed his fist in Naruto's face before he pulled back as Naruto staggered. Sasuke uppercut Naruto, lifting his head to the sky. Sasuke flipped and dropped his heel in Naruto's skull. One would think that would be too brutal for what he was doing, but the grin on Naruto's face enlarging as he staggered. He snapped his head and punched Sasuke across the field. The Uchiha flipped, feeling the tingling sensation in his arms. He staggered and almost fell down to the ground. Come on, don't tell me that's all you got. Where is that Uchiha spirit? Where is that fire? Said Naruto. I'll show you fire, Sasuke said, running through hand sign. He shouldn't be doing this, but they were used to this. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke launched a massive fireball, but Naruto ran head first. Now the Uchiha was surprised. What the hell was he doing? Never seen Naruto. Naruto ran right through it, crashing into Sasuke. Sasuke slammed through a tree and broke through another one. He collapsed on his back. Too much pain to even move. Naruto's shirt was burned, so was his pants. However, he didn't even have a mark on his skin. Not even one. Kiba and Naruto were still good friends. However, Sasuke and Naruto were best friends. It might not seem like it. Seems like they were trying to kill one another, but they were not. But Sasuke and Naruto were best friends. There's a whole long backstory there. Well, it wasn't really that long. You see, from the moment Naruto laid eyes on Sasuke, Naruto wanted to best him. They joined the academy when they were 6 years old. Sasuke Uchiha was a Uchiha. So much people spoke about them like they were a god gift from heaven. Numerous times Naruto challenged him, but Sasuke refused, so Naruto started blatantly attacking him. At first Sasuke despised it, but the more he fought Naruto, the stronger he became, the more he sharpened his senses. When Sasuke lost his family, it was a few months after he lost everything by Itachi Uchiha. The one to actually cheer him up was Naruto. The first thing he told him was, are you going to stand here and keep on feeling pathetic for yourself, or are you going to get stronger and hunt down that monster and make him pay? The burning sensation in Sasuke's heart ignited brighter than it should right there and then. The next thing Naruto did was throw him through a window, which was incredibly bad, but Sasuke started to actually fight back as he's been feeling lousy and feeling like giving up. But he started to actually fight back. They've been best friends ever since. While Naruto might have other friends, him and Sasuke were best friends through and through, even if the Uchiha won't admit it. Several times they've come to blows. Naruto has won majority of them. Sasuke could say that he was faster than Naruto, but it was his durability and his strength as well. It was almost like he enjoyed getting attacked. It was almost like he enjoyed getting pummeled, because beating him would only result in him getting more hotter and hotter. And then he started to laugh. He started to smile. And that is when things truly became berserk and crazy. I guess we can take it easy today. Naruto said as Sasuke sighed. Even after all of that, he's still on his feet. How in the world were you able to do that? Sasuke said. I don't really know what to say, said Naruto, stepping towards a tree. I guess a flame just loved me, he said. Watch this. Naruto held his hands out as flames ignite around them. Not being shoot out or anything, they simply ignite. Sasuke pulled himself up in pain. What the hell? As Naruto pulled his fist back and ripped it through a tree, literally punching clean through it. The insides burned out. A terrified look flashed across Sasuke's eyes. You know what they say, fear is the best motivator. Naruto brought his fist down and Sasuke flipped away. He landed on his feet. Come on, said Naruto. Are you really done for the day? Or are you just being pathetic once again? Because I'm all fired up and ready to go, said Naruto, tearing off the remainder of his shirt. Sasuke could feel the sense of fatigue taking over him. And yet Naruto was not bested. How could he hope to ever defeat Itachi if he couldn't drop Naruto? Naruto was the stepping stone. He was the one that showed him his progress, that showed him where he was. And through that, he was his friend, his bestest friend, the one that has been by his side no matter what. He's right. Screw limits. Screw limitation. It was his desire, his goal and dream to get stronger, and he wouldn't allow anything to stop him. Tapping into that raw Uchiha bloodline, Sasuke shattered the barrier. Sasuke awoke in the Sharingan a long time ago when he faced his brother, but the drive and push that he needed. When he lifted his gaze to meet Naruto, Naruto saw the eyes. Sasuke sped and fisted him in the gut. Naruto staggered as Sasuke grabbed him and threw him through another tree. Naruto slammed in it. As he picked himself up on his hands and knees, the grin on his face extending as he bounced to his feet. "Let's go," he said, as they rushed at one another. Moments later, envoys arrive. After seeing the entire place on fire, only to find the two boys beside one another. Sasuke Uchiha had burn marks on him, but both boys were smiling, exhausted, but they were smiling. This was the first time the Hokage was aware of these flames that Naruto possessed. Naruto was able to manipulate flames in ways that he's never, ever seen before. It was a shocker, truly. Time skip. Kakashi Hatake was tired. He was getting tired. "What the hell is wrong with this kid?" he said. The copy ninja grabbed Naruto's arm and viciously slammed him into the ground and kicked him away. Naruto's face was down in the dirt, but he pulled himself back up. Kakashi deflated at that as Naruto jumped at him once again. Team 7 was formed with Sakura Haruno, Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Kakashi Hatake wanting to be their sensei. After the first day, he realized that it was going to be hard. During the bell test, Naruto almost turned the lush land into a blackened, scorched ground. Kakashi Hatake lost focus so much because he was trying to stop the place from burning down that Naruto got the bells. A distraction, yes. Part of the test, no. However, he crushed the bells in his hand. As crazy as he was about his own strength, he believed that everyone has a fire inside of them. Sasuke showed no hesitation with fighting with Naruto, having fight alongside each other for a long time now, and Sakura, feeling and knowing that she would be the one to be left behind, she decided to fight and help them anyway. So that showed Kakashi that they were his team. But soon after, he realized that this team was a monster. Sakura was the only normal one here. Sasuke was so used to fighting Naruto that he fought in this brutal way, actively turning the interceptor fist of the Uchiha style into this brutal fighting style. Because Naruto could take a hit and just kept on going, his hand would be broken and he would still try to use it no matter what. The copy ninja tried to assign Naruto the proper knowledge to understand that his body needed rest. But for some reason, even after all of that punishment, there was nothing wrong with him. Even the Nine-Tail was the mystery in this matter. Yes, he had the fox, but even with the fox, why did it seem like Naruto was indestructible? As he just kept on getting up and up and up and up no matter what. Kakashi would have to call it, as Naruto was able to outlast him. Even when he was running out of chakra, he still fought. He was going to run himself into an early grave if he did not slow down. But the child was as stubborn as he was strong. Naruto training includes some rather brutal things. Naruto was in the depths of a lake. The large lake. as his eyes were closed. Yet, flames start to ignite underwater. As crazy as it sounds, Kakashi would not believe it if he was hearing it from another source, but Naruta's entire body started to radiate a heat. Steam started to rise. The copper ninja placed a finger in the water and it was boiling. What the hell? The Hokage could find no sign that this was a Kikigenkai. It seems like Naruta's attribute for fire was simply that greater than anything that he's ever seen. He handed Naruto a piece of paper to pump his chakra inside of it. The paper exploded. That wasn't a result, but the fire was just so powerful the paper exploded and burned into nothingness. A violent scream erupted from Naruto's mouth, releasing all of the flames that was building up inside of him, as he could pour it in his chest, in his stomach, and then release it. Naruto evaporated the entire lake. Kakashi stepped back, shocked, flabbergasted at what he was seeing. He was 12. Yes, you heard that right, he was 12 years old. Doing things that adult, elite shinobis was capable of. This power. Sasuke Uchiha saw what Naruto did, and it only pushed him even harder. Sasuke was, well, growing into a powerful shinobi. As Naruto urged and pushed, from gaining his own strength was pushing Sasuke into becoming a monster amongst monsters. Sakura felt inadequate. Her teammates were just so far ahead of her. Sasuke was not paying attention to her advances. She needed to be stronger, to prove to them that she was a part of this team, to prove to Sasuke that she can stand by his side. So she started to train more and more. Finally, Naruto said, happy that they were venturing outside of the village. However, after walking, and there was nothing. Naruto looked towards Tsunade. Hey, old man, are you sure there's not anyone important coming to kill you? Why would you say that, said Tsunade? Because I want a challenge. Simply escorting you and protecting you from weaklings is a waste of my time. Kakashi bopped Naruto over the head. I told you before, our job is to protect the client, not for you to fight. This is just as boring as those D-rank missions that I'm never, ever doing again, said Naruto, as he folded his arms and started to walk. Sasuke hated them as well, as those two were rather vocal about that. They stepped by a puddle. Once they did, erupting from the puddle was the demon brothers. Kakashi was torn in half. Sakura's eyes went wide. However, she was fast enough to react and jumped in front of the client. Naruto blitzed forward. The demon brothers smirked, idiot. They thought as they wrapped the chain around him. They pulled on it, but Naruto gripped onto it. Despite the fact that the pieces of the connection were sharp, extremely so, it tore into his skin and yet he gripped it. Did I give you two permission to pull me apart? Naruto said as he yanked them together, shocking both men with his extraordinary strength. Sasuke saw his opening. He blitzed. He landed right on the chain that was next to Naruto's arm, stepping on Naruto's hand, because that was where it punctured Naruto and not his leg, as it would not pierce his leg. Sasuke twists, and just as Kakashi was saying, the brutality in his strike, the first kick knocked the man's head down. Sasuke gripped his shirt and elbowed him right in the nose, shattering it. He twists and kicked him in the back before knocking away his leg. He then dropped his head into the ground. Miyaizu watched Gosu receive a brutal beating because the chain was attached and he could not free himself in time. Miyaizu freed himself and pulled the gauntlet. He swung it at Naruto, ready to take his head off. Naruto's fist was coated in flames immediately. He proceeded to slam his fist into the blade, breaking the metal as pieces of it stabbed into his skin. When Naruto's fist made contact with Miyaizu's, well, his hand burned and pushed back down. You could hear the bones in his wrists. Sasuke jumped over Naruto's head, delivering a knee to Miyaizu's face. Miyaizu tried to step back, but Naruto slammed both of his fists in his stomach, burning through his shirt and launching him. He crashed into the tree, but he wasn't down yet. "Hey, he was mine," said Naruto. "You already took down yours." "I saw the opportunity, so I went for it. It's your fault for being too slow," Sasuke said. Miyaizu pulled out a kunai and threw it, aiming to take Naruto down. However, Naruto held his hand up as a shield formed, a barrier of pure flames. He called it Scorching Shield. Miyaizu watched as his kunai stopped as both boys turned towards him. Naruto grinned and Sasuke frowned. Miyaizu was tied up along with Gozu moments later, pummeled and burned rather badly. Kakashi revealing that he was alive. "Tazuna, reveal everything about the mission." "Awesome," said Naruto. He was happy. However, Kakashi Hatake got captured as he told Team 7 to run away, understanding their strength, but this was not a villain that they could take. Summoning 4 water clones, they won't be able to escape, Zabuza Momochi said after capturing Kakashi within his water prison. Naruto started to walk. "I have to say, I'm disappointed. You're supposed to be a Jonin, one of the high for a village, and you let this bandage wearing, no shirt freak capture you like that." "What?" Zabuza said, twitching at the name. "I mean, look at him. He doesn't even have an eyebrow," said Naruto. "You little brat. Rip him apart first," he said to his water clones. Naruto slammed his hand on his chest. "I would like to see them try." They descended upon him with their blades, ready to tear him in pieces. But that was what he was waiting for. Naruto raised both of his hands as he slammed them into the earth. A massive wave exploded into the sky. Zabuza was taken aback as the heat swept over him. The water prison started to actually bubble. Extremely bad news for Kakashi Hatake, as he was stuck inside. All of his clones were erased just like that. Bursting out of the flame was a massive Fuma Shuriken courtesy of Sasuke. Zabuza cut it in half with his blade when he heard something. Naruto Uzumaki mid-ear. Naruto held both of his hands behind him as the flames propelled him down, having a clone launch him into the heavens. The flames propelled him down with a ridiculous amount of speed. Kakashi shouted for him to stop as Zabuza raised his blade as he was about to split Naruto in half. However, Naruto created a flaming shield at the last moment. The moment the blade was stopped, Naruto's hand burst through it. He gripped onto the massive sword, it being large enough for him to also hold on to it perfectly fine. Zabuza tried to throw Naruto off when he heard a cracking sound. The flame from Naruto's hand, as he dug into the blade, the metal started to... That's impossible. Zabuza pulled his other hand out and fist Naruto in the face, knocking him off the blade. And that was his mistake. Kakashi Hatake backhanded him across the water. Naruto shoot back to his feet and launched himself, but Kakashi grabbed his shirt and threw him back. "Stay back. I'll handle this," he said. Naruto flipped and landed. "That's what you said the last time." "Yes, and it won't happen again," said Kakashi, as he's truly locked in. However, in the end, Zabuza survived. And now they believe that he had an accomplice. Time skip. Naruto met someone in the woods while turning the place into ash. What I fight for? To be the best. The person told Naruto about precious people. Naruto never thought of things that way. His mind was only one track. He never really focused on other things. Nothing really bothered him. Even find out about the Nine Tails when he got into a collision with Mizuki. There was a little problem before Naruto graduated and he got into some minor issues. And Mizuki was a traitor. Let's just say that Mizuki was now ruined the day. Meanwhile, locked up in a secured prison, Mizuki, only one arm left on him. His only goal in life now was to hunt down and kill Naruto Uzumaki, who had burned his arm to a crisp. The only thing that Naruto really focused on was getting stronger. But if he had to say, he had people like, even Kakashi, Sasuke was his closest friend, even Sakura. They've become more than a team, he supposed. But he never really focused on things like that. He just wanted to become stronger. He wanted to burn hotter and hot as he can ever burn. That's quite a drive, Haku said. He left that day, knowing that they would have to be enemies once again. And he was right. Your flames are useless here. Sasuke was on his knees as Naruto was standing, having two totem in his Sharingan. The development had truly helped him gain strength. Sasuke Uchiha was peppered with needles all over him. Naruto had just arrived, having dropped two bodies that tried to kidnap the son and mother. Sasuke was in a rather bad state. It was this technique. He was using reflections. You idiot. You shouldn't have come in here, Sasuke said. Tuh. Look at you. Already bested by this lowlife. Can you really call yourself my rival, said Naruto. Sasuke immediately got to his feet. Haku was stunned. That's impossible. He was finished a moment ago, but now he was back on his feet, seeming like he can go another 100 rounds. Naruto smiled when he saw that. Now, what were you saying about my fire? Can't break your mirrors, said Naruto. As I said, your flames. Haku was cut off when he heard the cracking sound. What the hell? Zabuza and Kakashi stopped as every single mist vanished. A heat wave, much more deadlier than ever before, spread across the entire place. It burned the moisture out of the air, destroying the mist completely. Someone crashed not too far away from them. Turning their gaze, they saw it was Haku. His mask then shattered into 100 pieces as blood ran down the side of his face. Kakashi leaped off the bridge. Good thing that he did, as a massive burst of flames raced towards the two of them. Zabuza grabbed Haku and threw him over edge and jumped over as well. The flame racing through. All the boats that were heading this way came to a stop as the inferno ruptured above their heads. Stepping forward was Naruto, having learned a lot since being here, as he was surrounded by a cloak of flame that wasn't even affecting his own clothing. His power seemed to have reached new heights. Sasuke was standing not too far away, his Sharingan swirling in his eyes. The chakra cloak was continuously enhancing Naruto's speed, strength, not to mention the flickers of burst flames that was constantly being released. But it was not affecting Sasuke due to Naruto being in complete control. These powers were still a mystery to Kakashi and the Hokage as well. Zabuza got back up. Haku was there as well. They were now on the opposite side as Kakashi arrived there. Having never seen Naruto in this state before, it was something he was keeping secret. Even Sasuke was surprised. Naruto smirked as he held both of his hands out. He then brought his hand forward and slammed his fist right into his palm, the flame around him seeming to ignite even more. However, the battle was stopped by Gato arriving. He arrived rather early. Gato saw the state that the two men were in. His high-paying clients. Zabuza had a slash across his chest. You could see the fatigue on him. Haku was bleeding from the mouth, looking exhausted himself and in pain. What the hell are you doing here? Zabuza questioned. Gato had no intention of paying any of them. Now that the mist was no longer there, you could see behind him. Oh shit. It was an army. However, that was a reaction he was expecting, but not this one. Laughter. Are you really Gato? You're the one that everyone's afraid of. You're short, said Naruto. What? I said you're short. You're a short, tiny man. I can't believe that he would ever intimidate anyone. Naruto's barrage of insults kept on coming. Gato started to fume. Kill that one first, he said. These people needed help. While Naruto did not care about the land of Wave, but they needed help, he told himself to justify his next actions. Naruto's stomach started to swell. All the cloak left him as Naruto inhaled the cloak itself. His mouth started to leak smoke from the side. His stomach bulged, his eyes pulsated. Haku once again was grabbed by Zabuza as they jumped away, knowing that this was going to be bad. Fire God roar, Naruto said. When he exhaled, Gato, eyes widened as he tried to run, but there was no use. The flames that ignited from Naruto's mouth was powerful enough to melt earth and armor. It eviscerated in a line straight forward, leaving only a few. Gato was... well, he was ashes. The remaining few jumped off and ran for their life. However, the next moment Naruto collapsed face first. Having shown the extreme of his abilities at the moment, by going overboard, Sasuke stood there. Naruto had reached to such heights already. He's gotten so much more stronger than him already. Sasuke gripped his fist. Not for longer, he said to himself. He was going to surpass him and best him, he said, because he will be the stronger between the two of them. Do you hear me? He suddenly shouted, confusing many that was still there. As he looked down towards the unconscious Naruto, who burnt himself out literally. But he will be up soon. Very, very soon. Time skip. Naruto was slammed into a tree. These trees weren't average in the slightest. They were the forest of death. After a few months, Team 7 was enrolled into the Chunin exams. Naruto Uzumaki was being bested in a rather brutal way. Around 10 snakes sink their fangs inside of him as he collapsed. Orochimaru, you could see his interest was peaked. Over to the side lies Sasuke unconscious. Sakura, she was exhausted, beaten, roughed up. Orochimaru surprised them. He bit Sasuke in the neck, transferring the curse mark to him. Naruto took him on. After arriving late because he was swallowed by a snake, he saw the state the two of them were in. And now, Naruto was plain exhausted, battered. The amount of toxin inside of him would be able to knock an elephant unconscious. Somehow though, he rose. Orochimaru did not desire to kill them. He wanted Sasuke to continue on in the exams. Intriguing, he said. How are you still standing? He questioned. Because You're just a low-life snake who thinks he can do what he wants just because he's powerful. And I admire that, said Naruto. That wasn't what Orochimaru was expecting, because soon enough, I'll be the one to call the shots once I become the one that is the most powerful. He looked up with his golden eyes shimmering with power. You could see the toxin in his very skin. However, Orochimaru saw what he was playing at. They ran. Naruto clones, 2 clones made from flames, grabbed Sakura and Sasuke and ran away despite Sakura protests. He would not win. But he wouldn't allow them to die here. But he couldn't allow them to be caught up in this. Naruto extended his arms. Burn, you nasty vermin, said Naruto. Orochimaru's eyes went wide. The entire village of Konoha felt a wave of heat. They felt it spread through the village, but those in the forest, it was violent. Orochimaru could no longer be seen within the vicinity. The area that was once a lush forest had all been reduced to ashes. Uzumaki Naruto was buried under these ashes. He was unconscious, burning himself out completely. His clones had disappeared. Sakura was left alone. A distance away, Orochimaru crawled out. The mouth of a snake. However, his body, half of him was, well, bones. Blackened bones. His mouth was ripped open as another Orochimaru emerged, fresh. However, the Sannin saw burn marks on his arms. What the hell? He said, clearly confused at shedding his skin and seeing residual damage. This shouldn't be possible. Just what in the world is that child? He questioned to himself. Naruto had a rather strange dream. A man, bright red hair that was floating. His name was Kitsune. Kitsune and his sister were 2 primal forces. Kitsune was the god of rage flames, while his sister was the god of tranquility. This dream was strange. Long time ago, as Naruto saw things that he never saw in this life. You see, they didn't have physical aspect. They were part of existence itself. But over time, perhaps it was a darkness in this universe, the wickedness. The aspect of flame and rage grew into something physical and became a scorching foe that wept across the entire known existence. So much that not even the preserving of balance and life that his sister held of tranquility could not soothe the endless repercussion that he did. However, because he lacked the true essence, it wasn't even a man, because it lacked the true essence of what it was to be alive, just a part of existence. It could be stopped. Well, not per se stopped, but ripped off this existence that it held. Powerful beings. Powerful beings. One that is seen as something beyond natural divine, having transcended his body, came together with others to revert it back into the earth, revert it back into the existence. They used their power to strip it of its physical form and seal it away. But its final words were, "In the age we're gods, we're human skins. When wrath is born into love, I shall rise again, not as a god, but as a child who will burn destiny itself." And it was right. You see, within Kushina Uzumaki's final moments, she created a gap between this world and something else. Naruto Uzumaki was born into agony and love. various emotions. Perhaps the desolate flame of the Uzumakis were somehow primally linked to this connection. And in that moment before she passed, her life, a gap came through, a small spark that flew into her sleeping child and turned him into something that wasn't human completely anymore, while still maintaining a form of human. The divinity of existence of hate, flames, rage, fused with him, making him something that was different. Naruto snapped his eyes open and he was face to face with the massive nine-tailed fox, known as a beast for destruction and chaos, but the beast was calm. He looked at Naruto with this strange look. These flames are even older than myself. You could see his gaze behind the bar. This was the first time Naruto was seeing him as he looked behind the bars. "What are you?" he said. That is when Naruto heard Sakura scream. She was in danger. He had no idea what was going on, but he forced himself awake. When Naruto opened his eyes, he found himself feeling a strange sensation. Sasuke woke up before him. Sakura had went back and dragged Naruto with her. She brought him here and kept him safe. And now, well, the sound team wanted to attack. Sasuke was able to drop all of them though. They begged for their life. As they hand over their scroll, Sakura held Sasuke from behind. Something was wrong with him. After which Sasuke had no recollection of what the hell happened. No, that was strange. Really strange. Time skip. After preliminary exams, Naruto's opponent was his good friend Kiba. Kiba was shocked to see the gap between their strength. Sasuke was dubbed with the mark of Orochimaru, but it was sealed away. As Naruto met someone that was going to train him. He was supposed to be a Sanin. Jiraiya was attacked immediately after losing to Orochimaru, as Naruto doubted that he killed a man. His doubts were confirmed by Jiraiya himself. Seems Orochimaru was seen even after their little scruffle. For the next month, the both of them trained. Jiraiya tried to get Naruto to sign the contract, but when Naruto wrote his name down, the contract burned through. Both men looked at one another confused. Jiraiya had never seen that before. Naruto somehow could not sign his name. It was almost like he was already connected to something else. Jiraiya went as far as to summon a toad to speak to someone higher up to understand. And even they can't understand. They went back to speak with someone much higher up. And they had their same theories. This boy seemed to already have a contract of his own. Now that was confusing, as Naruto had never signed any contract before. So yes, he was greatly confused. Time skip. The finals came around as everyone was there. Everyone was there to see what the new generation was capable of. But the most startling battle came with Naruto Uzumaki and Neji Hyuga. Many people expected Neji to be number one. He was a prodigy, he was this, he was that. But when the fist of the Uzumaki broke through his rotation, every Hyuga was shattered in their concept of their own ultimate defense. That was the literal definition, ultimate defense. But as Neji spun and Naruto pushed his hand, even as the chakra tear away his skin, flames ignite around his entire body. Naruto burned through it. On a closer level, the spectators, those that came to see the strength of Konoha, in that moment Naruto's fate was sealed to be known by everyone. He burned chakra. That young man burned chakra. His following words to Neji, No one can decide your fate. You have to be the one to do that, Naruto said, as he crashed his head into Neji's, knocking him out cold. The place exploded with cheers, the most entertaining match since. However, many were shocked by what he did. His name would be all over the place very soon. That child was truly something else. However, problems soon arise, as Sasuke was winning his match. Injuring Gaara though, led to Gaara losing his mind. However, as Gaara released Shikaku within the forest area, the sand consumed Naruto, but that was what he wanted. As a final vest of Naruto's face could be seen to the world, he was consumed by the sand to suffocate and die. Now, I'll reduce this village to pieces, Shikaku said as he took a step forward, until he started to feel something. What was that? He looked around, but he saw nothing. Down below, Sasuke Uchiha. He currently was in a rather weakened state. His battle with Gaara pushed him because the mark started to surface. An unconscious Sakura was nearby. As he stood there protectively, he looked up. He refused to believe that Naruto was bested. He refused to believe that this was the end. It just wasn't possible. What the hell is going on? Where is he? Sasuke shouted out. When they felt it, it was the heat. From within the depths of Shikaku's core, flames, ungodly flames, started to emerge. Unnatural, divine flames emerge. The next thing Shikaku knew, its entire being was consumed. Gaara's eyes were snapped open as he felt like he was being boiled alive. Knowing that the death of his host meant the death of himself, and he would not resurface until a few years, it was Shikaku that awoke in Gaara. The sand pushed him out. Lucky enough as he crashed into a tree, as he would not fall and crash down to his death. The flames stopped every single fight in that moment. The massive powerful beast that once roamed was immediately crystallized. That was how powerful the flames were, crystallizing the entire tail beast. The primal shout of the rage and fury itself. Naruto exploded out of it, his entire body pulsating red as the thing crumbled. Every citizen that were there that were fighting had witnessed the power of Naruto Uzumaki. He slammed into the tree that Gaara was in, reducing it to ashes. Every ounce of Gaara's sand had been crystallized as Naruto gripped him by his shirt and raised him. However, Gaara was not the same. The fury that Gaara had pumped Naruto. It was the only reason why Gaara transformed so quickly, because Naruto was pumped and he was beating the crap out of him. Where is that fury? Where is that bloodlust? Naruto said. Why have you turned into this sniveling little fool? As he looked at the miserable state that Gaara was in, screaming about his existence. Naruto turned his back on him. He was disappointed. Perhaps you're not the challenge I've been looking for. Besides, your existence is stupid, Naruto said. Gaara was quiet. I suppose we're the same in that way. I never think of other people or think of them as anything around me. But now I realize that I have friends. People that stand by my side no matter what. People that push me to be my best. That is why I'm so powerful. You, on the other hand, you're just psychotic. Control that power. Find a way to turn it into your own, and not letting that beast control your mind. If you're pathetic enough to let that take over your body when you're in control of your own body, You're no much of a person than the beast itself because you're a puppet to that thing. You're its slave, said Naruto. He walked away. Naruto was disappointed as he thought that he was finally going to push himself beyond his limit and shatter every limit. He pretended like what he did was nothing because Naruto knew there was more, but he just performed a feat that most within his village cannot accomplish. Temari and Kankuro landed beside Gaara. It seems that Naruto's words had a greater effect on Gaara than Naruto even thought. As to him, Gaara was just someone that wasted his time. He arrived to see Sakura and Sasuke. Sasuke finally lowered himself, showing that he was truly exhausted, fighting off the mark and fighting at the same time. I thought you were going to let him take you down, Sasuke said. Stop comparing yourself to me. Remember, I'm the best, said Naruto. Besides, I'm not the one struggling to stand up right now. Can you even walk, Naruto questioned. Sasuke forcefully got to his feet, despite his bones screaming at him to relax, his body screaming for him to settle down. I'll be just fine, he said. By the time they reached though, everything was over. The battle was done. The sound ninjas that remained had fled. Because Orochimaru had fled for his life. Because he was bested. But at the same time, time skip, everyone was startled. The heavens were pouring, as it was a funeral of Hiruzen Sarutobi. However, that is not what startled them. As he stepped out on the field, as he stood in front of the tombstone, Naruto wasn't mad. It might seem strange, but he respected the old man. He fought and died for what he believed in. He gave it all that he had. And Naruto respected the man with everything at his disposal. He slammed his hand to his chest as he made him a vow right there and then. He would find Orochimaru and he would make him suffer. It seems like his emotions reacted to his abilities. Naruto eviscerated the rain. He completely stopped the rain by burning every single droplet in and outside of Konoha. As the clouds were destroyed above head, the beautiful shine of the sun rays descended upon him. Naruto's name started to spread. From he was able to burn through chakra itself. A shinobi like that has not been seen for a very long time now. Not to mention the fact that he single-handedly defeated a tailed beast with his own power. No, that was more shocking. However, a replacement was needed. A rather angry one. Time skip. Naruto was smiling as he stepped towards Kisame. Sasuke was busy taking on his brother. Both Naruto and Jiraiya had made their way out to find the next Hokage, Itachi Uchiha. You could not tell, but in his mind he was surprised. His brother had grown exponentially. Believing that he was doing the right thing, Itachi kicked it up a notch, showing Sasuke that they were still not on the same level. As for Kisame, he was grinning because he was happy. As Naruto was excited, both men were outside after. Naruto realized if he kicked it up in here, he might burn the entire hotel down. So you say that your blade can absorb my chakra? Well, let's see how much it can take. Kisame had to surround himself with chakra to stop himself from being burnt alive. Naruto kept on going higher and higher and higher. He started to burn the atmosphere itself. He was burning away oxygen. Kisame suddenly found himself lost of breath. Samehata could not take it anymore. This wasn't just chakra. This fire. This wasn't normal. Samehata started to scream. Kisame pushed off with every ounce of speed that he had and teleported to a building nearby. Looking rather shocked, his movements seemed like pure teleportation due to his speed. His arms were burned badly. His skin seemed so dry. Samihata's tongue was out, as the sword seemed to be stifling for the closest source of water or a breath. As the smoke and flame started to pull back within Naruto, as he almost burned the entire town down, he gazed up to see Kisame. Naruto had kept the fire close to himself in order to save the people from suffering the same wave of heat. But now, as he consumed it all, his cloak arrived. But they were interrupted by Itachi Uchiha. The moment Naruto saw that, he became concerned. Where the hell is Sasuke? Itachi did not answer him though. I asked you a question. Where the hell is Sasuke? The flames hit the heavens. Kisame was beyond taken aback. His power was still growing. That should be impossible. Itachi Uchiha was also taken back by this power. Flames that seemed to be able to burn everything in existence. They heard the rumors that it was able to burn chakra. He had similar flames, as he wondered if these flames were truly that terrible. As he gazed towards the young man, but their battle was interrupted. Naruto wasted no time as he went to check upon Sasuke, fearing the worst, but he was alive, unconscious though. Guy arrived, as Jiraiya was able to scare the both of them off. The two returned back to the Akatsuki with a rather shocking development about the jinchūriki. Itachi said it himself. This child will become a true problem in the next coming years. The leader told him to stand down. The next time they go after the Nine Tails, he will be the one. Sasuke was taken back to the village. Naruto had more incentive to find Tsunade Senju because she could heal him. However, he would know that she was similar to him in many ways. Time skip. Naruto was thrown into a building side. He opened his eyes as his face was crushed in, pushing deeper into the solid concrete. Tsunade Senju had second-degree burns on her arm, and yet she was still throwing blows after blows. The place vibrated and shook violently, as you could feel the sensation through the ground. People believed that they were having an earthquake constantly. Jiraiya arriving at the scene as the two had flew off during their haste clash. Tsunade was a very stubborn person, and Naruto matched her word for word, learning about her ability to alter her age. With his rather disrespectful tone, the both of them started to beat the living crap out of one another. They claimed that it was, if he won, she would come back. If she won, he would give her every single dollar at his disposal and leave her alone. But the both of them seemed to be enjoying what they were doing. This wasn't out of character for either of them. Naruto was obsessed with facing the strongest and getting stronger. Tsunade Senju, it's been a long time since she met someone that can truly take a hit. As she's been mostly relaxed lately, no one really pushing her into a fight. Her reputation as the strongest woman in this world was being pushed right now, as Naruto had blatantly said he did not believe that. In fact, she looked weak. That triggered her. Granted, she was not going all out. However, she was rather shocked. How was he still keeping up? The more she hit him, it seems like the angrier he got, the more powerful he got. His anger was not rage though. His anger was tied into his love of this battle. Tsunade Senju hit Naruto so hard, the ear itself vibrated. He collapsed down to the ground. The most surprising part was she was taking deep breaths. Her hands trembling. Her knuckles were burned badly and swollen. As she stood there, second-degree burns all over her. He was a living inferno. In the beginning, she was trying not to kill him, so she held her strength back. However, the more it went on, the more she started to release certain limits. Granted, she still did not go all out. still didn't want to end his life, but she had to say he was strong, stronger than she expected. However, the shocking part was when he got back to his feet. That's impossible. There's no way you should be standing. He raised both of his arms. She saw his eyes, they were white. He was unconscious. How was he still? She covered her face as a massive wave of pure flames ignited out of him. Shizune had to step back. Tauntaun felt like it was in a fryer. Something was wrong. His power was spiraling out of control. He wasn't conscious, but it was growing and growing. The ground started to melt. He started to burn the oxygen in the air. The buildings, they started to melt. Blitzing forward, Jiraiya arrived just in time, slamming a seal on Naruto's back, and another on his chest, another on his forehead, another on his torso, restraining Naruto. After 10 seals, his body finally seemed to reach a certain limit. Or perhaps it was a seal, cutting his connection to chakra. Naruto fell back, collapsing on the ground. Shizune was startled as she saw just how deeper he was on the ground, as he literally melted the ground around him. What is he? She questioned. Within the depths of Naruto's mindscape, Naruto jumped up. Did I lose? Yes, you did. He heard a voice. Naruto turned as he saw the nine-tailed fox. You know, you're the reason why those Akatsuki people are after me. They want you. And if they get you, I'm dead. I just want to say thanks, said Naruto, with a big grin on his face, giving me the opportunity to face S-rank ninjas. Naruto turned his back to walk away. Wait. The Nine-Tails watched as Naruto stepped towards it. What are you? What am I? I'm Naruto. Don't you know who I am? You're inside of me. Have you lost your mind, Nine-Tails? Naruto questioned. I'm not talking to you. Naruto turned when he saw someone standing there. A strange man. His entire body was made from flames. He had red burning here. Who are you? Said Naruto. You am I, and I am you. My words were true. The prophecy has been fulfilled, and I've been brought back. And now these limits shall no longer bind us to becoming one. The fire started to pour into Naruto's mouth. Jiraiya had no idea what he did. You see, Naruto constantly rupturing his limits was him breaking on the limitation that was on his physical body. When Tsunade knocked him out, his power was breaking through. Jiraiya sealed away his chakra, and in that moment Jiraiya cut the connection between his chakra and his flames. That is why his flames were not normal. They were not powered by his chakra. They were powered by something much more ancient, more powerful, the living definition of rage and flames itself. And Jiraiya just allowed Naruto to shatter that last limit, which will allow his power to grow infinitely. Naruto woke up. As he knew things, he had memories in his mind of a time that was not this. But he did not care much about that. All he cared about was growing stronger. And something was different. He could feel it in his flames. He could feel it rather well. Time skip. Tsunade Senju was all healed up. She wasn't the world's greatest medic for nothing. As she was resting, thinking about what that little punk had said to her, Naruto had learned from Jiraiya why she was such a, in his words, old miserable grunt. So he did not hesitate to tell her that she wasn't the first person that lost someone, and she will not be the last. That she should get over herself. What would the people think of her if they saw her in this position? And that made her angry. But now that she was calmed down, she started to think about what he said. thinking about Nawaki, thinking about Dan. The both of them wanted to become Hokage, and now she had the opportunity to do that. Damn brat, she said. She could almost hear him. Wait, she snapped her head up and jumped away. A massive crater formed in the ground as Naruto stepped out of it. I've been looking for you, he said. He slammed his fist into his hand. What the hell are you doing here? You lost. As a matter of fact, where's my money, she said. Naruto tossed his wallet towards her as she caught it. Now that surprised her. Now let's fight. She was confused. I'm not going back. I don't care, said Naruto. They can find someone else to be Hokage. But you're different. That raw, unnatural strength. It gave me a rush, and I want to go up against that once again. So screw being Hokage, do whatever you want, he said, ready to throw down with her. She wondered if this was some reverse psychology or was this kid just battle thirsty or something. Well, I'm tired, she said, turning her head away. Well, you're going to come back with me though, said Naruto. Oh? And why is that? Going against your own rule. Didn't you lose, she said. I don't care about you becoming the Hokage. A friend of mine is injured, and you're gonna heal him. Am I now? Naruto slammed his fist into his palm. It's either you come willingly, or by force. She turned towards him. You're crazy, aren't you? Can't you see the difference between us? Oh yes, I see it. But I'm going to overcome it. You think you can grow stronger than me? I'm a Sannin. You're just a powerful child. Nothing more and nothing less. Well, this powerful child doesn't have a limit. And I tend to break the barrier on what you are. And go beyond Sannin. Go beyond Kage level. Go beyond this world. My strength will be known throughout the heavens. Naruto said with a mighty grin. You truly are crazy, aren't you? She said to him. He jumped straight towards her. Jiraiya, who returned back to the hotel, seeing that Naruto wasn't there when he felt the massive collision. Not again, he said to himself. It seems like Naruto inspired Tsunade. Maybe it was the fact that he stopped asking her to be the Hokage, but the only thing that he was concerned about was her returning to heal his friend. It made her thought long and deep and hard about Nawaki, Dan, and Naruto words still strike her deep. There was one thing she had to do though. Kill Orochimaru. However, they used her weakness against her. Her greatest weakness. Blood. Kabuto stepped towards her as she backed away. When they heard a sound, both Kabuto and Orochimaru had to jump away as a massive bird almost swallowed them. It was made from pure flames. Gazing upwards, they saw Naruto, Jiraiya, and Shizune. Orochimaru. Naruto said, but Jiraiya stopped him. I'll take Orochimaru. You go after the other one. Jiraiya did not wait for a rebuttal, as he quickly made his way after the other Sannin. Naruto jumped down. He looked towards Tsunade. What the hell are you doing? Get to your feet, he said. It's her hemophobia. What the hell is that? Fear of blood, Shizune said. Wait. Are you telling me that you're afraid of blood? Really? Wait, is this a joke? Naruto said, looking at her. But she was in a catatonic state. Wait, so this is for real? It is, Shizune said. Huh. Well, that's really stupid. How can you be a medic and be afraid of blood? Naruto shook his head. I'll deal with that later first. Wait, I remember you. You were in the Chunin exams. Yes, that's right. So you're a spy, said Naruto. Yes. Clever child, aren't you? Kabuto said. You should know. I am on the same level as your sensei. It wouldn't be wise to fight me if you want to live. After all, you're a striving young man. Do you truly want to die so soon? Naruto started to grin. You're on the same level as Kakashi. Good. I can truly learn now how strong I am when I kill you. Kabuto activated his chakra scalpels, but soon learned that fighting Naruto barehanded even with his scalpels were a stupid idea. However, those things were sharp as he sliced and cut at Naruto. Kabuto was able to witness Naruto battles before, so he knew not to stay in the same place. His speed was incredible, but his strength. But the most problematic part was his durability. He just refused to go down. Kabuto started to use the space between them to his advantage and use his experience. He was triggering Naruto's anger, taunting him, going around him, moving around. Naruto's skin started to become red, his legs melting through the ground, having long since melted through his sandals. It was a shock that his clothing was still on him. Naruto's speed was increased by 5 times. Kabuto was startled as he almost had his head kicked off clean. However, he's never truly seen Naruto fight without his fist before. And Naruto had many different origins of how he attacked. He just liked to beat the living crap out of his opponents. Naruto opened his mouth and released a dragon, a literal mythical beast made from flames. Kabuto's left arm was burned severely. He could not use it. However, he popped something in his mouth, a pill, sped up regeneration in that area. But Kabuto was surprised that even with the pill, his body was taking a long time to heal. He started to speed around Naruto, starting to create chaos to use them to his advantage, hiding within the smoke. Kabuto saw it as he sped forward. Tsunade's eyes went wide. His left hand chakra scalpel ripped into Naruto's chest, tearing his heart to pieces. Tsunade's eyes widened, speaking, her words shaky. As she looked towards Naruto, Dan and Nawaki's silhouette appeared. Their image, their death. Tears came to her eyes. She was always losing people. She's known him for a week, but somehow he was able to turn her life upside and down. Made her start to believe there was hope once again, but there was none, because he's dead. Finally, I got you. Even Kabuto was surprised. Inside of Naruto's chest, there was a wall of flames that burned the scalpel. It reached nowhere near to Naruto's heart. You're fast, perhaps a bit faster than me, and that is what gave you the edge, Naruto said. But now you're done. Kabuto raised his fist and struck Naruto across the face. Due to the burning in his arm, he could not form chakra into his scalpel. Naruto smiled at the punch. Pathetic. Kabuto punched him once again as Naruto's right hand was holding his wrist that was there at his heart. Kabuto kept on punching Naruto. But even as his nose bled, Naruto simply smiled. As I said, you're pathetic. He caught Kabuto's arm this time, holding both. Kabuto tried to kick him, but Naruto squeezed until you could hear the breaking of his wrists, dropping down to his knees. Naruto smiled as he opened his mouth. Kabuto saw the smoke, willing to tear his arms off, but it was too late. The scream only lasted for a few seconds. Orochimaru and Jiraiya turned. Orochimaru shot snakes that stopped Jiraiya as he sped. As he watched, his number 2 burn, his face completely burnt away. This child was going to be a problem. He knew that from what happened within the forest area. The Sannin shot forward with a blade. As Naruto's back was turned, still incinerating Kabuto's face. He spat out the Kusanagi blade. However, her body moved. She pushed Naruto out of the way. Orochimaru didn't expect that Tsunade's fist crushed his chin, snapping his head to the heavens. Naruto turned, seeing what was going on. His hands lashed out and grabbed Orochimaru's leg, having released Kabuto. Naruto slammed him into the ground. Tsunade turned and stepped into his chest, crushing his ribs. Orochimaru immediately spat out a new Orochimaru. Fresh, he started to flee. Without Kabuto, he could not summon Manda. Jiraiya was rushing in from the other side. "You won't get away," said Naruto. His face turning red with anger, his hair levitating upwards. The redness of his hair was more pronounced than the blonde as he sped towards Orochimaru. The Sannin. He bent down and opened his mouth, releasing thousands of snakes. They swarmed Naruto. Tsunade dashed forward and started to rip them off, but she had to move back as flames reduced all of them to ashes. "Where is he? Where is he?" said Naruto. The Sannin had used the time to run for his life. Jiraiya stopped Naruto from pursuing though. He wouldn't catch up. "There will be another chance," he said to Naruto. Shizune rushed over, happy to see her master back on her feet, as Naruto looked towards her. "Over your stupid fear of blood," he said. "Tch, damn brat," she whispered. Time skip. She took reins as the Hokage of the village, as Naruto was greeted by Sasuke when he recovered after a day. "Let's go," he said. "Fight me now." Naruto was happy to oblige. "Sasuke-kun, you just got out of the hospital. You shouldn't be quiet." Sasuke was angry. Naruto pushed him back. "What the hell is your problem? Speaking to her like that." "Are you gonna fight me or not?" Sasuke said. "Seems like you've lost your mind, but I have no problem beating some sense into it," Naruto said. "Let's go." Naruto was thinking nothing of Sasuke's behavior, other than him really wanting to fight. Sakura could see that something was gravely wrong. His interaction with Itachi did not end in his favor, and it was affecting him greatly. Sasuke was used to fighting Naruto, avoiding his flames and hitting extremely hard. However, something was different. Naruto believed that Sasuke was just growing, but the frustration because Naruto was still smiling. It was angering Sasuke. He pulled out the Chidori. Yes, the technique that Kakashi told him to never use on a comrade. Naruto coated his arms in flames, ready to tear right through the lightning like nothing. Kakashi arrived though in time. Kakashi reprimanded the Uchiha. He told him never to use that against a comrade. But he still did. He still did. Kakashi could see the changes in Sasuke. Naruto turned his gaze towards Sakura, seeing her sad as Sasuke jumped away. "Don't worry. He seemed to be having some mental issues at the moment. I'm sure he will be fine soon. After all, he's not a complete moron," Naruto said, jumping away. "Sensei," Sakura said. "Something is wrong. Naruto might not think much of it because he loves to fight, but something is wrong with Sasuke-kun," she said. Kakashi could see that very clearly. Could seeing Itachi had caused all of this drastic change in Sasuke. Kakashi wondered. Time skip. Jiraiya was starting to panic after agreeing to Naruto's request to take him here. The Sannin was currently a couple feet away from a literal volcano. Inactive. There was lava inside. Naruto had just dipped his hand in it and it came out unscathed. He was using it to strengthen himself, his durability. Fire does not work on Naruto. If anything, it made him more powerful. So one would surmise that if they go for something much hotter, as he already had his theories planned out in his head. But now Jiraiya was starting to panic. 30 seconds passed, and then it turned into a minute, and then 2. Stepping forward, he had to do something. Naruto burst out of it. He wasn't wearing anything. After all, his clothes would have been burned to a crisp. Hot molten lava was dripping from him, as there was a smile on his face. He was not even burned in the slightest. His hair, his skin, everything was completely fine. Since the mission, Naruto had grown so much more stronger. Since returning back with their new Hokage, it seems like there was no limit on how much he was growing, and he was growing exponentially. Time skip. Naruto returned back to the village. Jiraiya had to go somewhere. Some spy network that Naruto did not really listen to. Making his way back, the Sannin had brought him close enough within the land of fire. Naruto believed that dipping into the molten lava had helped him a lot, as he could feel himself becoming stronger, as his skin, his durability was kicking into overdrive to protect him. He could still feel the heat, which was something he wanted to overcome. Become stronger than the heat of lava itself, become truly indestructible, wild with power and rage. The moment Naruto returned though, it felt like something was off. Moments later, Naruto landed down, arriving towards the gate where the rescue team had been set out. Sasuke was kidnapped. He was notified by Tsunade, due to majority of their shinobis being out. After all, Tsunade had saw the power at Naruto's disposal. She already requests aid from others, but it will take them some time. However, someone else arrived. Naruto turned as he heard someone calling out to him. It was Rock Lee. He was on his feet. After what happened between him and Gaara, it was surprising. I wish to accompany you, he said, in our bright youth of returning back our comrade. Naruto looked him up and down. Try to keep up, he said. Lee nodded as the both of them sped off. They first came across Choji Akimichi. Naruto checked his pulse, he was alive. Immediately, creating a clone, they sent Choji back. They kept on going as they moved through the foliage. Something is up ahead, said Naruto. Lee, eyes focused as he saw Neji Hyuga about to fall. Two of them were falling off the branch. One was dead, the other one was alive. Lee pushed off as he caught Neji. Lee, Neji said. Naruto looked at the body of the strange spider-like individual. He was dead. They debated on whether Lee should go back with him. However, Lee told Naruto that there might be some trials up ahead, and one of them will have to stay back and fight. So sending Neji with a clone was the best option. Another clone was created by Naruto. They came across another scene only to see, well, there was no one here but there had been a scuffle. They continue on, making their way, as they arrived to see none other than Shikamaru. Shikamaru was currently restraining someone. It was a kunoichi with red hair. However, she was breaking out of it. She was transformed. Her name was Tayuya, a member of the Zone 4. Shikamaru was struggling to keep her at bay. However, something blitzed past him as he felt the heat. Tayuya's eyes went wide. Naruto hit her so hard every single ear left her lungs. Around 10 trees collapsed as she broke through each and every one of them. Shikamaru immediately dropped down to one knee, looking up towards the two heavyweight. Seems like reinforcements had finally arrived, he said, looking at the both of them. Where is Sasuke? Said Naruto. Up ahead. He was taken. Naruto sped off without another word. Meanwhile, Shino Aberami was losing. Sasuke Uchiha had just broken free from the coffin, and instead of turning back, he ran off. Shino was losing to this guy. His bugs were fast, able to leak chakra, but Kimimaro was a different monster entirely, and he was going to die. Sasuke had run off. He was here facing the strongest member out of the Zone 4, as he wasn't even a part of the group, he was above them. It's time for me to go. I've wasted enough time here. Shino had been alive by keeping his distance, but Kimimaro was about to close that. Kimimaro had to step back as two people crashed down in front of Shino. Tayuya had shown no signs of getting up from the hit that Naruto gave her. Shikamaru Nara was stunned. One blow, that was all it took. It should be downright impossible, but Naruto has always been strong. But it seems like his strength was more monstrous now. Dropping a tail beast by yourself isn't exactly a normal feat after all. Shino looked up towards the both of them. Reinforcements has arrived. Shino said. You could hear the relief in his tone. Where is Sasuke? Said Naruto. He ran off ahead. He ran off? Said Naruto. Shino nodded. As Naruto understand. I will take this one. You, go and retrieve your teammate, Lee said. Naruto ran forward only for Kimimaro to blitz in front of him. However, Lee blocked Kimimaro as Naruto ran ahead, tearing through the foliage. He made his way hopping from tree to tree. When he saw him, Sasuke, he shouted. Sasuke landed on the monument of Madara Uchiha as Naruto landed on Hoshirama Senju. What the hell do you think you're doing? Said Naruto. The village is this way. Hey, I'm talking to you. Go back, Sasuke said. What? I said go back. I've wasted enough time there. It's time for me to get stronger. And the only way to shut your mouth, said Naruto. Are you really about to say the only way for you to get stronger is to go to Orochimaru? Can you really be that stupid and pathetic? You know nothing, Sasuke said. It's the only way. And I'm not going to ask you again. Go back! Naruto started to chuckle. It seems, after the many years of battle, you seem to forget who the hell you're talking to. Now I'm gonna give you one chance before I break your legs and drag you back. And then I'll snap some sense into you. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. This isn't going to be like the last times. Let's see about that. Both of them leaped towards each other and started to exchange blows. As they fought, they spoke. Naruto slammed Sasuke into the wall as he held him there. Do you have any idea what this little stupid waste of time of yours is causing? You know much people came out here to save you. Friends, comrades. They risked your life for yours and you want to give it over to Orochimaru. Are you that naive? You know nothing, Sasuke said. You were alone from the beginning. Time and time again, I've pushed myself harder and harder and yet, I've still been bested. So what? Said Naruto. That doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean you hand yourself over to a traitor. You have no idea what he's gonna do with you. If you can't beat Itachi, how in the world are you gonna beat Orochimaru? I've told you this before. Every time life punch you down, every time you feel like giving up, say to yourself, you can do it. That nothing else matters but your own conviction. Shut up, Sasuke said, pushing Naruto off as they engage one another once again. Naruto burned the waterfall, literally. The water dried up for a moment there as he punched Sasuke and shattered his nose. Sasuke retaliated with a massive gut punch followed up by a brutal uppercut. He spun and dropped his heel in Naruto's head. Naruto burst out of the water as they viciously traded blows. I won't allow you to go, said Naruto, because you're my friend, and friends don't give up on one another. The both of them punch each other across the face. They both crash into the opposite statues. Sasuke immediately created a Chidori. As he switched, his body and face started to change. The curse mark started to take over. I told you to go back, he shouted. And I told you to shut the hell up. Naruto held his hand out as a strange ball formed in his hand. Naruto had seen the Rasengan something Jiraiya was trying to teach him, but Naruto was working on something different. The attack in his hand might look like the Rasengan just because it's shaped like a ball, but it was releasing small solar waves. It looked like the sun. It was the flames that Naruto had gathered and compact them, pushing them into one another, making it dense. He doesn't have a name for it yet, but he supposes he will find one soon. When the two attacks clash, it released an onslaught of destruction, tearing into the statues, completely wrecking the waterfall area. Sasuke was blasted. His hand was torn up. Luckily, he did not lose it. Naruto crashed down on top of him, taking breaths as he looked at him. As I said, you're my friend. I know you're struggling with this. I know I don't understand what it means. After all, the only thing that you see me focusing on is my strength. You wanna know why? Said Naruto. Sasuke acted like he didn't want to hear, but Naruto grabbed his face. Listen to what I have to say. You're right. I never had anyone in the beginning. And I knew that. The reality of that was, well, it sucked. So I had to focus on something else. My first experience was these bullies. They bested me, and I promised from that day on, I would never be weak again. And this fire in my stomach built. From that day, I strive to become better. Knowing that, becoming something that is better than what I am, becoming something that is greater than what I am, will keep me having a goal. After all, there is no limit to how far I can reach, because I set no limit on myself. And while I have a goal, I will have something in my life. That was until we became friends. I never understood the true connection of having a friend until the Land of Wave, even after we've been friends for so long. I understand what it meant to count on one another, to truly believe in one another. And now I have more. Sakura, Sensei, even that old hag said Naruto, and that pervy sage. So many people in my life. And I know that you think you're alone, but you're not, and you never will. Itachi will have his day. So what if you're not strong enough now? You will be, because, as I told you from day one, I'll help you. So if you still want to go to Orochimaru, you're gonna have to go through me, said Naruto. And you know me, even when I reach my limits, I will shatter each and every one of them, and I won't stop fighting. So, what's it gonna be? Sasuke's whole outlook in that moment, it changed. He's been stupid, neglecting his friendship. Naruto was his best friend after all. And here he was about to throw everything away because he lost. Because he believed that he had become so much greater. He looked up towards Naruto as a hand was in front of him. Sasuke took it and fell, as he was still much too weak from the damage to stand properly, but Naruto caught him. Naruto threw a hand over his shoulder to help him. Good. I was just going to continue beating the crap out of you, said Naruto. Sasuke chuckled, which caused Naruto to chuckle as well. Despite the sway that the curse mark had, it seems like Sasuke's mind was much more stronger. And the flame that Naruto had in encouraging him broke that hole. He would get stronger in Konoha, beside his friend, he said to himself. So they start to make their way back, only to come across a lot of sand. Naruto paused as he saw Gaara. So what is this? Here to fight once again? No. It was Lee that spoke. He's our ally. Oh, said Naruto. Seems like I did knock some sense into you after all. You seem less psychotic. Well, as insulting as that is, I suppose you're right, Naruto Uzumaki. You know, you don't have to call me by my full name. Just call me Naruto, said Naruto. Well then, Naruto said Gaara. Looking rather different and acting different. They met up with the others, as Temari had came as well. Kankuro had found Kiba, as he was still kicking despite the horrendous battle that he went through. Returning back to the village, Sasuke was basically placed under house arrest. His chakra sealed away that mark, sealed away once again. Tsunade wanted to know what the hell was going on. After him trying to leave the Orochimaru, after all, Naruto did give her a full report. Jiraiya was back at the village. Jiraiya believed that the sway Orochimaru had was because of the connection, the soul. Hearing that, Naruto had an idea. It was during their battle. When he lay hand on Sasuke, Naruto had felt something. He decided to try it, without anyone's permission, because he knew that they would try to stop him. Sasuke was shocked to find out that a piece of Orochimaru's soul was in the mark. However, Naruto figured that he could get rid of it and allow Sasuke to keep this power. Sasuke was ready as Naruto laid his hands on it. Every single flame that wrapped around Sasuke's body, they started to become gold. Within the depths of the seal, just the true inner workings, Orochimaru was sitting down, his eyes closed. It was just a fragment of his mind that was stored in stasis. It suddenly awakened. But this isn't possible. This wasn't supposed to happen. Flames ignite all around him. He tried to escape, but he was burned into nothingness. There was no way or nothing that he can do. With the real Orochimaru having to force to take a body, now possessing blue hair, as the mission was a failure. Orochimaru was pissed. Many things had happened. Kabuto was dead. The sound team was dead. Kimimaro was dead. Gurren was by his side though, another loyalist. The Sannin dropped to the ground. Lord Orochimaru, what's wrong? Gurren questioned as he was gripping his chest. Orochimaru screamed as he started to burn from the inside out, a side effect of him being alive while the piece of his soul was burning. He survived though. Yes, he did. He came out alive but severely bested in many different ways. This will give him a, prime better reason not to inject his own soul into something. Well, he never thought that anyone could actually do something about it. After checking the curse mark, Tsunade punched Naruto right in the face. Well, Jiraiya was the one to check it for doing something so risky, and Sasuke just quickly agreed as well. However, the mark was no longer operating as a different entity. The power that now flowed through Sasuke did not try to take control of him. The power felt like it had no source, it had no link. Sasuke had to learn how to control it now, because there was nothing there binding it. However, if Naruto had told him once, or 1,000 times, he wasn't alone, and anytime there is something placed in his way, he should and he will overcome it. Every single member made it through. Choji was severely damaged, so was Neji. As they were all gathered in the hospital, Sasuke Uchiha stepped in. Naruto was there as well. He wants to say something to you all, said Naruto. Sasuke mumbled, but Naruto whacked him over the head, causing Sasuke to glare at him. The Uchiha apologized. Yes, he apologized for putting their life in such grave danger. Shikamaru was the one to speak first. He could say that they all pulled through fine and Sasuke was back. Yeah, you were not in your right mind, Choji said. And we're all fine. So, I guess this mission was a success. Sakura was in tears of joy. Seeing Sasuke, seeing Naruto, seeing that they've returned and that everything was okay. But she was also sad. She was weak. She wasn't able to help. Of course you're weak, said Naruto. He really did not hold anything back, did he? After all, compared to us. But I think I have an idea for you to get stronger. She looked at him curious. He remembered the old bat talking about this program that she wanted to start. And he told her about soccer. You told the Hokage about me? Yeah, you have good chakra control after all. Sakura hugged Naruto, rather grateful. Time skip. Fine, said Naruto. But we're taking Sasuke. Jiraiya wanted to leave the village with Naruto. As Naruto advised that, well, more like demanded they brought Sasuke along with them. After all, he did make the Uchiha a promise. So, they were going. The Sannin wanted to train Naruto to make him stronger. After all, the threats of the Akatsuki was out there. And Naruto told Sasuke that Itachi was a part of this organization, so he would want to stick close to him. Being trained by a Sannin as well, that would be wonderful. Sakura Haruno hugged the both of them as they were at the gate. She hugged them both, wishing them luck, while she was going to be trained by the strongest kunoichi known to man. So with that, the boys ventured off. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months on the road. Sasuke and Naruto found themselves in all sorts of different problems. Enemies were all over the place. It seems like Naruto's name has become much larger than he expected, as many people know about him. After all, the events of the Chunin exams had spread far and wide, as there was many that would like to see him dead, believing that he was becoming a pillar in Konoha, a pillar that would become a future threat. But none of them were successful, none of them at all. They even ran into a few familiar faces from the land of Wave. Just like that, 2 years and 6 months went by. The gates of Konoha was greeted to 2 different boys arriving. They left at boys, and now they were men. Both of them growing rather tall, but Naruto was a bit taller than Sasuke. It was his hungering physique. Naruto was bulkier. He looked more broad. He was wearing an open shirt that showed off rippling muscles. His hair was now fully spiked up, no longer lying down. It was spiked up to its limit. Sasuke even seemed to have grown out his hair a bit. A few of it came down in his face, covering his right eye, as he was wearing a dark blue that covered most of his body with bandages wrapped around his arms. Both boys returning back to the village as they saw the difference in the monument. Jiraiya was there as well, having seen these two mature during the time that they've been together. These two were on their way to becoming some of the most powerfulest ninjas that this entire world has ever seen. And he was talking about the likes of Oshirama Senju and Madara Uchiha as well. They were on their way to becoming legends. Venturing towards the office, as they walked, many stopped to see them. Sasuke was the last Uchiha within the village, so his name was set in stone already. But Naruto has done a lot in the past couple of years. A lot of enemies had tried to take him down, and all of them had saw their end. Some had escaped to tell the tale of his ferocious power, and the stronger Naruto got the better Konoha look. Finally returning, as they stepped through the door, Tsunade was surprised to see just how much they've changed. Sakura Haruno rushed to the office as she heard. However, surprisingly, Sasuke actually blushed slightly when he saw her. She changed so much. It was due to a conversation that they had. You know, Sakura liked you, right? And we're no longer children, said Naruto. Well, I never truly defined myself as a child, but you and her, said Naruto. Sasuke found himself thinking about what Naruto had said. She was so glad to see the both of them. Kakashi Hatake came to greet his team, glad to see through everything they were all here, together. Tsunade wanted to see what the fruits of their training has brought them. Kakashi Hatake decided to be the test subject. However, he soon realized that that was, well, idiotic. Moments later, Kakashi was lying in a trench. His both eyes were on debut as he looked rather terrified. Above him was the three of them. Naruto in the center, Sasuke on the right, Sakura on the left. Kakashi raised his hand to surrender. As Sakura's strength had been drastically increased to monstrous levels. Sasuke. Kakashi see that Jiraiya had focus on the skill when it came to Sasuke and his speed as well. Jiraiya was a very smart individual, knowing a lot about the Sharingan, seeing it on full display already, not to mention coming face to face with the likes of Itachi Uchiha. So there was a lot to learn there from Sasuke's part. Sasuke was now dubbed with a sword, something that he picked up during the years of training. While Jiraiya wasn't a sword master, he had toads that were. They still could not understand why Naruto's name would not permanently sign to the toad contract. It might say that he had another summon, but Naruto could not recall signing with another animal or something like that. Perhaps it was due to him being different. Due to Naruto always saying crazy things when he told Jiraiya, the Sanin skipped over it. Maybe because I'm a primordial god, and I have some different connections. Jiraiya had skipped over Naruto's statement, but Naruto had learned that about himself, that he wasn't exactly human. But he did not let that bother him after all. While he wasn't exactly 100%, he was still part human. He remembered that strange dream that he had, seeing that strange man. Perhaps it was the definition of his fire. But Naruto did not care about that. This was his life, and nothing would change that. Kakashi was able to realize that Team 7 had grown exponentially, but Naruto, defeating a tailed beast when he was, well, 12 years old. You could imagine just how stronger he has gotten. Team 7 was going to take their first mission. Due to them being absent, they weren't promoted, but Tsunade had no problem promoting them to Chunin after seeing their battle with Kakashi. Sakura had already been promoted some time ago. Being Chunin was different. Despite having the strength, the test was completely different. Before they could venture off though, they got the call. Turns out that Gaara was kidnapped. Naruto was surprised to hear that. He was a Kazekage. Time skip. Arriving to the sand, they received word from Kankuro of what truly transpired. Luckily, he gave them something that they could use. Team 7 found themselves venturing towards the area, but they were not alone. A woman known as Granny Chiyo accompanied them. They ventured off, making their way, quickly trying to best the time there before Gaara could be killed. Naruto knew this. After all, extracting a tail beast, well, it will result in the jinchūriki's death. It made Naruto think about his own situation. He's never truly, well, bonded or have anything to say with the nine-tailed fox. It was just a part of him. The last thing he could remember was saying, what the hell was going on? As the nine-tailed said, who are you? But he wasn't really talking to him now, was he? He should really had a conversation with him. Well, he should have one very soon. Sasuke was surprised as they found themselves facing an enemy. Itachi? Naruto gazed at the so-called Itachi. Something did not seem right about this situation. He was trying to slow them down, that was obvious, but was this really it? Was this a chance that Sasuke has been seeking? Surprisingly, Sasuke did not run head first. Jiraiya had taught him a lot. Taught him a lot over the past couple of years. It seems like Jiraiya can truly be a wonderful mentor when he needed to be. Kakashi started to tell them not to look into his eyes. The only person that can possibly do that and get away with it was himself and Sasuke, due to the fact that they both possess a Sharingan. However, Naruto could tell that this was not the original. Sasuke, as he activated Sharingan, he could see through the deception. This was just a copy. He spat at the disgrace. He thought that this was his moment, but it was not. Naruto cracked his knuckles. They're just trying to slow us down. Naruto's entire body lit up with golden flames, as they seemed to be burning off him, but they weren't affecting his comrade. The flames seemed to be rather calm, majestic in a way. Naruto blitzed. The Sharingan tried to manipulate the environment, manipulate Naruto, but Itachi, the real Itachi, was startled when he saw his genjutsu being burnt away. The statement behind that alone was crazy. He was able to dodge, but without, damage, impossible. His right arm was gone. Before he could even blink one more time, Sasuke chopped his head clean off. And just like that, it was done. Sakura was stunned. They worked without a word. The 2 years together had evolved Naruto and Sasuke in terms of their battle, comradeship without a word. Kakashi was even startled as well. The both of them were holding back during their little tests, and that was clear. Team 7 made their way off, making much better time. This was the dome that Pakon told them about. Team Guy was supposed to be a rendezvous in somewhere around here, but they seem not to be here yet. Gazing up towards the massive dome, Kakashi saw the ceiling tag that was on it. It wasn't something that they could simply break through. "Now that's where you're wrong," said Naruto. Naruto started to envelop in pure flames. "Listen to him, child," Lady Chiyo said. "This isn't just something that you can burn to pieces. This is just be quiet, Granny, and just watch me work." Naruto said, his entire body becoming flames itself. His skin became so red it seemed like he was fire. Naruto stepped forward as the environment was burning. Chiyo couldn't understand. Why isn't this affecting us? Because he's not allowing it to do so. On the inside of the cave, they needed more time to believe that the decoy of Itachi was bested that easily. It seems the jinchūriki had become immensely powerful. As Naruto started to burn even more on the inside of the cave, why is the place becoming so hot? Questioned Deidara, him and Sasori being the only ones that were truly there, when they heard a shout from the outside. On the outside, Naruto sped forward and drove his fists into the massive cave. But his punch wasn't as destructive as one thought it would be. However, the flames that spread from the point of impact, this punch was meant to hit someone internally, but Naruto allowed it to go externally. Same like the fire not burning his comrades, as Naruto was restraining at least 70% of his power to ensure that they did not burn up when they were close to him. The seals that were so powerful enough to bind the entire barrier to be resistance from physical fists started to burn apart. However, once that was done, Naruto ripped a hole through the wall, only for a bird to explode in his face. They needed more time. Deidara and Sasori jumped down, buying more time as Naruto was sent sailing. Sasuke blitzed forward, speeding through hand sign and releasing multiple senbons made from pure electricity. Both Akatsuki members had to jump away. Deidara quickly leaped to the ceiling as he released several birds. Kakashi had to take a glimpse inside as he saw the monstrosity. Gaara was in the center. He saw the shadowy figures. The roof started to explode. The leader had no choice as Naruto ruptured through the roof, coming down to destroy the statue. But it suddenly poofed away. Gaara fell as Naruto grabbed him with one hand. Naruto checked on him. He was alive, but his pulse was so weak. Majority of the tail beasts had been stripped away from him. Something like this had never happened before, so no one could truly tell what would be the ending result. Suddenly, the entire cave was surrounded by fire as Naruto slammed his fist into his palm. "None of you are leaving," he said. Time skip. Zetsu arrived. Not even a piece. Not even a single hairline or anything. Every ounce of Deidara and sorcery were completely erased, gone like they never existed to begin with. It was truly frightening. Yes, it was. It was the power of the nine-tailed jinchūriki. That heat that he possessed was unnatural. Back to the other side, Gaara survived. Yes, he pulled through. The chakra inside of him was weak, but there was still a trace of it there. Knowing if this chakra would replenish itself, well, they weren't so sure. And they weren't sure what was going to happen, but the Kazekage was alive and they were thankful to Konoha. The Akatsuki struck once again after a few months. This time it was at a shrine. Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi, none of them were there. Asuma and his team had went to fight. The others were out searching for the remaining members of the organization and also searching for Orochimaru as well. During the time they went on several missions. Asuma Sarutobi was taken down. Shikamaru Nara did not hesitate to go and revenge his sensei. However, the two members were stronger than one expected. Naruto arrived on the battlefield. Sasuke had went to go and find Shikamaru, along with Sakura as well, as he had made his way off alone. Standing in front of him was a massive Kakazu, having absorbed the remainder of his little trinkets. His power surged, threads dashed towards Naruto, but the closer they got, the more they burned. Naruto was then wrapped around his Kakazu, used hundreds upon hundreds to bind him. They were trying to break into his flesh, but they were realizing that it was much more difficult than they thought. Naruto burnt himself out of it. Kakazu merged the natures together and launched a coordinating attack towards Naruto. Naruto held his hand out as a massive scorching shield appeared, consuming the attack like it was nothing. "You want to see power? This is power," he said. Naruto released the fire god roar. The mystical beastful force from his mouth burned through the entire place. Kakazu was astonished by the power, the destructive capability, the burning sensation, feeling like it was evaporating his skin despite the distance. Naruto engaged him, showing speed that caught Kakazu off guard. With a single blow, the shockwave that was sent through Kakazu's body rattled every ounce of him, including all the mass. Naruto shoot both hands into the sky. Hellfire meteor, he called it. Kakazu was stunned as Naruto pulled down pure flames from the heavens. The attack range was so wide, so colossal. He now understood why he told the others to stay back. He tried to run for his life, but when it hit the ground, that fiery explosion sent him away. He tried to crawl away, but Naruto crashed down on him before gripping him and lifting him up. Naruto's fist was coated in flames. Kakazu threads wrapped around Naruto's throat. They even tried to enter his mouth. Naruto bit down and ripped them off. He then drove his flame-coated fist into Kakazu's chest. The threads themselves were burned. It felt like his insides received a pulse of flames that incinerated everything. Kakazu was left in a pile of heap. Impossible. He fought the first Hokage. He wouldn't lose. Naruto arrived in front of him. Well, I suppose death and loss have two different definitions, said Naruto. After all, you're not going to lose in a sense. You're going to die. Once again, two members of the Akatsuki were brought down, and these were supposed to be S-rank ninjas. The Akatsuki was the leader was getting pissed. Beyond pissed off. Weeks passed by when word came from Jiraiya about sightings of Itachi Uchiha. However, this was strange. Really strange. Out in the open like that. It had to be a trap, right? Sasuke though, he had spoken to the Hokage before. He wanted to be the one to do this. And the quicker they get rid of the Akatsuki, the better. She would know that Naruto was safe. The elders were against sending Naruto out once again. However, they seem to fail to realize that he has become one of the strongest ninjas within the village. This time though, a much larger team was brought together. After all, they need to learn to track, and they had a team for that. Team 8 was brought in as well, as a large team was sent out with the one goal: finding and eliminating Itachi Uchiha. Making their way, Itachi found himself at a old Uchiha shrine. It was also a base there as well. He sat in the chair. He was proud. He was proud when he heard that Sasuke was convinced to return back to the village. That young boy, Naruto Uzumaki, had a fire inside of him that Itachi has never seen before. It was in a physical and spiritual way as he talked about it. And he was Sasuke's friend. He was the one that was allowing the information about his whereabouts to be known, because it was time. Yes, it was. Kisame believed that Itachi would come out on top. The leader had warned them about this. But Kisame believed that there was no chance that Itachi would lose. In the depths of the shadows, someone arrived. A man wearing an orange mask, hiding from the world, but revealing himself, as he found himself taking interest in this particular event that will take place between the Uchihas. Itachi was a problem even in the organization. Sasuke Uchiha was with Konoha, but he failed to know the truth, and that is where he comes in. Before that though, as Team 7 split apart with the others, Naruto and Sasuke were with Hinata Hyuga, as she was using the Byakugan at her disposal. Kiba Inuzaka was with Sakura and Kakashi. Neji Hyuga was also there, along with Tenten, and there was also Shino as well. Each group having the range to find and locate anyone nearby. The one to find the target first would radio in the others. As they made their way, Sasuke was focused and ready. Naruto was gazing around. Hinata had her eyes activated, now and again looking at Naruto. Hinata had a large crush on him. You see, Naruto he was driven. He never gives up. She pulled her strength from him. But it wasn't just that. He was manly. He was rough. He was a complete opposite of her. She was soft and shy. However, everything about him is rippling muscles. She couldn't help herself most times as she was watching him. But he did not even notice her. He did not even see her. She was too shy. She never actually spoke to him that much. She spoke to him a few times, but those were mostly her mumblings, saying something. But he was nice. He spoke to anyone. He was so powerful, she thought to herself. But he did not notice her one bit. His gaze turned as she looked away. Did he notice? Suddenly, Naruto grabbed her in his arms and jumped away. Hinata was startled and red. She soon realized why. "Hey, weren't you paying attention?" Naruto questioned, as water hit the area where they once was. She apologized, but he waved it off. Someone emerged, with toothy grin. It was Kisame. "You," he said. "You can go ahead. As for the rest of you, well, you can't pass." Sasuke stopped, knowing that it was his brother. As Kisame went more deeper and told him that Itachi was waiting for him, Sasuke hesitated to move. "Go ahead," said Naruto. "We'll be just fine here. It seems like you want to face you one-on-one. That was always the case after all." Sasuke nodded. Stepping forward, Naruto placed Hinata down. "Why don't you get to somewhere safe?" he said. "Wouldn't want to get a scratch on that pretty little face," he said to her. As he got to his feet, she was beaming red even hotter than he. As she stepped back, blushing uncontrollably. "I remember you," said Naruto. "We fought before." "Ah yes, we have. But then you were just a little grunt. I wonder, have you grown since?" Naruto started to laugh. The more he laughed, the more the ground started to melt. As he cricked his neck as he started to bounce on his heel, Naruto blitzed forward. Kisame held his palm out. The ground behind him ruptured. However, Kisame grinned in pure happiness. "Let's do this." The both of them blurred out of sight. Hinata immediately radioed in with the others, but they were having some trouble. They were being occupied by a strange masked man, stopping them from pursuing. Both Naruto and Kisame went at it. On the other side, it was Itachi and Sasuke. Hinata was astonished, there to witness the battle. Kisame released water of such high quantity, it was going to flood the area despite her distance. Naruto split the earth open. Flames shooted out and turned the water into mist. Naruto hit Kisame through boulders after boulders. Kisame used Samehata, but with his bare hands, Naruto punched a hole clean through Samehata. The rage that Kisame felt in that moment, Hinata dropped to her knees as his chakra spiraled. Blow for blow, fist for fist. Their attacks violently, ricocheting after one another. Naruto held both of his arms up. Naruto pulled flames itself from the sky. Kisame blocked it with water shark bombs. Naruto stepped into his chest, crushing his ribs. Samehata was able to recover itself, feeding off the residue chakra from Naruto's attack. It quickly rushed to Kisame, allowing him to regain his strength. Kisame created a massive, colossal bubble made purely of water. Naruto was trapped inside, unable to breathe, his chakra being siphoned out. The more he moved, the more it moved. Naruto realized that it was following him. He looked as he saw Hinata, knowing that she would be caught up in it as well. "Fine," he said. He spoke, bubble leaving his mouth. "You want me?" "Have me," Naruto said. Naruto here became completely red. In the depths of water, flames started to somehow manifestate. Kisame was astonished. He flew towards Naruto, but he had to stop. It felt like his body was being melted, despite fusing with Samehata. What the hell is this? He thought to himself. He tried to get closer, but the water started to bubble. Everyone could see it from their vicinity. Naruto here became completely red. His eyes started to burn. Hinata had to run, as she felt like she couldn't breathe. The oxygen was being burnt out of the air, despite Naruto being inside of the bubble. Naruto released a primal scream. Kisame started to fly away from Naruto, realizing that he was going to be cooked. Literally. Naruto then released it, using his own essence. Pouring out of him, it released. A heat wave. This was beyond anything that he's produced so far. His hair even turned completely red. Kisame was swallowed. Everything was. A bright consuming light from the flames, as the flames became so powerful that they started to bend and burn, even light everything around it. It could not be explained. The water bubble was gone. Kisame was falling from the sky, no longer fused with Samehata. 99% of his body was burned. The only thing was one of his eyes, still open to the world. That is when he glimpsed up to see death itself. But death was actually Naruto, surrounded in flames, becoming the true god of flames. Naruto dropped his hand in Kisame's chest. Kisame's insides ruptured outwards. His body could no longer physically withstand it. Flames shoot from his mouth and his remaining eye, bursting through his limbs, his arms and legs, before he completely combusts in a wide-range blast. Naruto crash landed on the ground. He's never gone that far before. Naruto slammed down on the ground. Amazing, he thought. Given the state that he was in, well, it would be bad for the enemy to find him right now. Someone was approaching Naruto while he was down. The person grabbed his hand. Looking up, he saw that it was Hinata. She was being burned. Yes, her skin was being burnt by being this close to Naruto. It wasn't him exactly, but the environment. She started to pull him along, pull him out of the vicinity until finally she collapsed down. Severe burns on her. Naruto pulled himself towards her as she lay there. "Why the hell would you do that?" he said to her. She pulled herself up despite the pain. "I wanted to make sure that you were okay," she said, looking at him. She wasn't stuttering. "But look at you." "It doesn't matter," she said. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," said Naruto. "You can't even stand, can you?" she questioned him. Her eyes could not be activated because if she did, she might probably burn them out. There was too much fire in the area, which was connected to his chakra, which would be too overwhelming. This was the first conversation that they were having that was this long. She was shocked though as Naruto got to his feet. He was weak, but yet, somehow, where did he get this strength from? It always ceased to amaze her. The battle up ahead seemed to be coming to an end as well. "Where are the others?" said Naruto. Hinata could not read her in, the device was destroyed. She stepped away, making her way towards the other side. Before she activated her eyes, she saw them. Who was that? She questioned herself. They're fighting someone. Wait. He's gone. What do you mean he's gone? He just teleported away. Naruto's mind started to wonder. Hinata felt the explosion of power from him. Impossible. Over to the other side. Both brothers lie beside one another. One was dead. One was still amongst the living. Suddenly, the ear twists and turned as a masked man appeared there. Looking down towards Sasuke, Itachi across from him, he started to make his way. That was until someone punched right through him. But it did not affect him though, he jumped away. I don't know who the hell you are, but think again if you think you're gonna take Sasuke. Nine-tailed jinchūriki. You've caused the organization such a problem. But this is good. I have you all to myself. I'll simply take you. Take me. I would like to see you try. The masked man disappeared. He appeared behind Naruto. It wasn't really an issue, he said. About to suck Naruto in, but in that moment, Naruto released his flames. He released so much power that Naruto started to affect the space around them, because he felt no end to this spatial distortion. But Naruto was never one to give up. Naruto was trying to burn the spatial distortion, but the amount of power to do that, well, he didn't have that. The masked man looked towards his hand where his gloves were. They started to burn and fall apart. He jumped away. That's impossible. Nothing is impossible for Naruto Uzumaki. Now, what was that you were saying, said Naruto, his power surging and raging to new heights. Naruto was confused. He thought he was tired, but in fact, he never felt more energized. Once again, Naruto shattered his limits, and this time, he reached it. Naruto's skin started to crack as his body was being destroyed, but not for a bad purpose. His flames started to get hotter and hotter. The masked man was burning. He couldn't understand it. Nothing else was burning, but he was. He had to flee to his dimension. Arriving there, landing in a cube. What the hell is going on, he thought to himself. How was that child able to affect me? It should not be possible. Had his flames become so strong they could burn the literal ear itself? No, that's just not... That just doesn't make any sense. He questioned, as he didn't quite understand. Sasuke Uchiha was unconscious on the ground as Naruto stepped forward, calming himself down. His skin started to repair itself. Naruto walked over. Sasuke was alive, Itachi, not so much. Time skip. When Sasuke regained consciousness, he found himself in the hospital. You know, it was strange. If he had abandoned everything that he come to see, and simply went along with Itachi, if he had abandoned everything and simply went with Itachi's hatred, that feeling that he should despise everything and everyone, if he had done that, he would have had nothing now. Killing Itachi, it didn't bring him much relief that he thought. But knowing that he had, well, the people around him, knowing that they were alive and well, that actually felt much better for some reason. Some reason which he could not quite define. Days passed after that. Hinata Hyuga was surprised, as someone wanted to see her at the gate. She was shocked to see that it was Naruto. She turned away and hid behind the wall. She wasn't expecting this. As for Naruto, there was a reason why he was here. He liked that girl. Since her pulling him away from that crater, she was the opposite of him. Naruto was rough, powerful, in every sense of the word. But despite her being a kunoichi, despite her being a Hyuga, powerful in her own right, she was so gentle, like a flower. And he liked that. It completely contradicted his own one-sided, well, powerful, immeasurable heat. But strangely enough, he liked that. The following words that Hinata heard from him when she finally stepped out. He asked her if she wanted to get something to drink. Was he asking her out on a date? Naruto showed no sign of blushing or embarrassment. Another sign of him not showing any weakness in any area. The Chunin Jiraiya had taught him a lot when it comes to the females. A lot of what he taught him was mostly perverted, but this girl was different, and Naruto liked her. Hinata accepted without a hesitation. As they made their way, Sakura saw the both of them, rather surprised, having no idea about this. She told Sasuke. As Sasuke, he seemed rather happy for Naruto, but he was also surprised. Sakura looked towards Sasuke as he started to think about things. He looked at her strangely, but he did not go deep into anything. as the both of them sat there while he was still in the hospital recovering. The body of Itachi was brought back, as Sasuke learned a lot about his Sharingan, a lot about the eyes. So Itachi's eyes were needed for him to grow stronger as well, and his body was here back in Konoha. Everyone came back alive from the mission, but there was a new member of the Akatsuki that they had to worry about. As for Jiraiya, he was getting some information. Due to everything that was going on, Jiraiya got information earlier, but he decided not to dive into it as of yet, given that he had returned back to the village and hear about what was taking place. He wanted to ensure the return of Naruto and the others. He didn't know why, but he decided to listen to Tsunade's words. The Land of Rain might be what they were seeking, but due to the fact that they already eliminated 4 of the Akatsuki before, and now it was 6, Jiraiya had stayed behind. He rendezvoused with Naruto, deciding to give the kid some time, seeing that Naruto was on a date. Proud of him, not to mention with such a beautiful Hyuga. As he told Naruto about what he believed, it was about the Akatsuki and their leader. 6 members of the organization was already put down. Naruto being in great leads to put down S-rank ninjas. His strength had truly reached incredible levels. Jiraiya had no doubt that if the 2 of them were to battle right now, he could not confidently say that he would win. He decided to gather more information before he made his move, and Naruto told him not to do anything stupid or reckless, as to go by himself, despite the Sanin wanting to do what he do best, venturing out by himself. After all, that was his thing. He decided that he will hold off and squeeze more information out of his allies within the Land of Rain. Information could barely come out. His allies weren't even within the village entirely. They were within the outer sectors of the village. There was a smaller village there, the only one that had survived a brutal internal war, as it was completely under Hanzo's rule. However, as things were right now, it did not seem like Hanzo was running things anymore. As for the Akatsuki, it was time the jinchūriki. It was time they put him down and extract the beast. They've only managed to take 90% of the One Tails. Other than that, they had nothing. They had to do something about this. Thus, he came to Konoha, all 6 of them, the so-called leader of the organization. While this was going on, it was just a standard day for Naruto. Sasuke was curious about the whole thing that was going on between him and Hinata. Many people has been talking about that. After all, Naruto has become quite the celebrity. "I like her," said Naruto. "She's soft, nice and gentle. And here I thought you would go for someone that is more your type." "And what is my type?" said Naruto. "Rough, crazy." "Huh, I guess it's not," said Naruto. "And what about you?" "What about me?" "You know, there is so much more chance you get before Sakura start to think that you're not interested." "Who said I was?" Sasuke questioned back. Naruto gave him a blank look. "Fine, but how do you do it?" Naruto started to chuckle. "Hey, what's so funny?" You're nervous." I didn't say that," Sasuke said. "I just want to know, how did you just ask her?" "Maybe because I ain't afraid of nothing. I mean, what's a little rejection? Besides, she didn't reject me. I guess I'm just that charming. Besides, you know this for a long time now, Sakura has a huge crush on you. Just pave the way, and the rest will handle itself." "You know what? I guess you're..." An explosion went off as both men turned their gaze. "What the hell is that?" Naruto and Sasuke saw a strange beast looking like a centipede or something. It had strange ripple pattern eyes. Naruto saw 2 children running across the street. He blasts a hole clean through the thing's head before it could target them as it collapsed on the ground. The parents, send in your thanks. Get out of here, said Naruto as he saw dogs. Ferocious dogs rushing towards him and Sasuke. Sasuke burned one of them with flames. But the thing was able to split itself in half, dropping the flames off its body. One of them crashed into Naruto. It tried to bite him, but Naruto grabbed its mouth and tore it open, flinging it to the side. Who the hell did these people think they were? Stepping into his village, attacking his home, his people. Naruto's blood started to boil. Once again, his skin started to crack immediately, as Naruto had yet to completely break the shell. Anger surged right through him, unlike ever before. His home, as he heard the explosions, his hair stand on edge. Meanwhile, in a different realm, something gazed to the sky. As it looked upwards, I knew it spoke. It opened its mouth as flames burned the heaven itself. Let's go. It flew through it. Back at Konoha, as Naruto power surged as he stepped forward, ready to annihilate all those that stand in his way, for them daring to harm his village. The sky opened up as several beasts rained down on the village. Now this was shocking to many. They all flew down where Naruto was. Each of them were closely in size to the one tails. Surprisingly, though they reduced their size, they were not one. Mythical beasts that wasn't supposed to exist. Dragons, phoenix, strange mythical beast dogs that were made from fire. And it wasn't just one type, it was all type. They all bowed their heads. Father, you've returned. A golden dragon emerged towards Naruto as the others step aside. Father, are you the ones attacking the village? No, that is not us. We felt your power. We felt it for the first time in eons now. We couldn't believe it. The prophecy, it has brought you back. But not as the same as you are. You finally have the connection between flesh and blood. Naruto remembered the dreams that he had. He remembered that name. You believe me to be this man. Yes, you are. Don't you remember? His life and my life are not the same. Our powers seem to align for some reason. Because you and him are the same. You told us that you would return, and here you are. We felt your power and we came immediately, at your service once again. So he created you. Yes, every single one of us. Naruto wondered, was this the reason why he couldn't sign the Toad Summoning Scroll? Has to be. But there was no time for this. Alright, listen up all of you. These creatures that are attacking the village, the one with the ripple pattern eyes, kill every single one of them and save the people. Got it? They all nodded. Move now. They waste no time immediately listening to his command. Naruto turned and faced Sasuke. What the hell is going on? Sasuke said. Believe me, it's hard to explain. Some of it I have no idea. But there's no time for that. You're right, Sasuke said. His Sharingan activating. It's time we protect our home. They bumped fists together before they sped off. Meanwhile, Konoha reinforcements rushing back to the scene. After getting the civilians a safety watch, these mythical creatures were aiding them. They were helping them. They decided to go with it because they were saving them from destruction. One of the paths of pain the summoning path watched as the rhino was mauled by strange dogs made from flames. They burned it to cinders before two dogs jumped on the summoning path, trying to burn him as well. He started to run. That is when one of the dragons descended in front of him, releasing blue flames. The flames were actually coal. Yes, they started to freeze everything they touched. It was like they had a mind of their own. The paths of pain were being attacked from all angles. What's wrong? Conan said as she was by the real pain that was hiding in a tree. They've brought reinforcements. Reinforcements like I've never seen before. What are you going to do? Destroy it. Destroy it all. No, you can't. You can't use that much power. Besides, the Nine-Tails is there. He's shown the durability to survive a lot. I believe he will survive this. Nothing shall ruin my plan. Meanwhile, on the top of the tower was Tsunade. Wait, Pain, she said, as he floated into the air. The other paths had fled the village. There was too many distractions. Pain held his hand out. He will never forgive them. The memories of those Konoha ninjas in his home when he was younger. Before he could release his jutsu though, something crashed into him. Tearing through the sky, Tendo hit the ground and quickly jumped away. They were far away from the village. Such speed, he said, getting to his feet. The other paths of pain immediately rose to their feet as well. After all, he did not use the power that he wanted to, but they were separated. The others that were outside, Konoha ninjas start to move to their scene when suddenly 5 blue dragons landed. They proceeded to fire strange ice blasts in the air that seemed to make from fire itself. They created an ice dome that trapped the 5 paths of pain inside of it. The absorption pain tried to absorb the chakra, but he couldn't, because this was not chakra, this was something else. The other dragons enlarged themselves. Several of them had entered. Our father, wish for your destruction, the golden dragon said, stepping forward. So shall it be. This beast was an entirely different beast. His power, the mere malice that he gave off to eviscerate anyone that stands in his father's way. Meanwhile, you made a big mistake coming to the village, attacking my home, attacking my friends. For that, I'm gonna kill you, said Naruto. I'm gonna make sure that this never happens again. I'm going to exterminate all essence of the Akatsuki. You are a mere child, unaware of what you're up against. Allow me to show you a glimpse. Almighty push! Naruto was sent through the foliage. As Tendo stepped, like the god that he was, Naruto burst through, but his fist did not reach Tendo. As I said, I am a god. Naruto was thrown back once again. Every time Naruto got up, that 5-second gap, Tendo put him back down again and again and again and again. He brought down the gravity force down on Naruto, pushing him into the earth. He pulled a rod from his sleeve and brought it down, but he was shocked as Naruto grabbed it. You think I'm just gonna let you stab me, said Naruto. Naruto snapped it into pieces. His fist crushed into Tendo's face, launched him toward the sky. You say that you're a god. Fine then, call me the god killer, said Naruto, as he blazed and hit Tendo in the gut. Tendo tried to stabilize himself without the other paths, without anyone at his disposal. He tried. He held his hand out, but it was burned to sunders. Naruto kicked him in the gut. It was almost like Naruto's feet was about to break through him. Naruto dropped both hands into his skull, flying him straight down towards the ground. Boom! Tendo's durability was on another level. He burst out of the earth and flew straight at Naruto. They started to trade blows. The two powerful titans dropping attacks after attacks, trying to outdo the other. Tendo pulled his power together, releasing the almighty push with such violent ferocity, but unlike before, Naruto stands still. Despite the technique pushing every essence of him away, he stood where he was. Tendo was shocked. Despite not truly being alive, he was shocked because Nagato was startled as more and more of his path were falling to those mythical beasts, and now Naruto grinned as blood poured down from his nose. It was crushed from being pushed in with such force at such a close proximity. Yet Naruto grinned happily. Tendo held out both of his hands, refusing. He was going to break him. However, Naruto started to release more and more and more and more. Over to the other side, they all felt it. All the mythical beasts. They felt their father's blessing, his power. They felt it more than ever before. Naruto's skin finally cracked away, revealing what was on the inside. The essence of fire itself. The essence of flame. The true rage god of flame. Naruto burned through the air itself, burned through the gravity itself, burned through space itself. He gripped Tendo by the throat. Tendo's entire body combusts, each essence of him being erased. However, Naruto felt it, the real one. Seconds. Actually, 1 second and a fraction of a second it took Naruto to clear the distance, and the proximity was large. Nagato was surprised as Naruto ripped him out of the chair. Konan did not even see him. Naruto became fire itself, the embodiment of flame. His essence was spreading so wide that he could merely step through space itself, like he was blinking out of reality. He no longer had the physical form. His hands were still there, so were his legs, but he had no features. He was just fire itself. Naruto was connected to a much higher plane. The celestial beasts were right. Naruto was a primordial force. The rage that was there. The rage of fire that had gained the understanding and the components of humanity. Stepping into the true understanding. Back then, it took powerful godly beings, one known as Shibai Osusuke. They came together and relinquishing him from his connection to the plane of existence that they were on, because you could not kill what Naruto was. However, in doing so, they simply cut his connection, and due to him wanting to step into the actual space of their reality, there was nowhere back for him to go, having reverted himself into something that can actually be there, because the true essence of Naruto could not step into this reality. He would simply annihilate everything. His flames would burn the heavens themselves. But now, he had a human form. But now he was back. Memories of the past came to Naruto, but you see, this undying spirit of Naruto Uzumaki was actually stronger. Not physically, but mentally as well. And it completely took over. But everything returned, all of that power. Everything came back. As he warped through space by burning himself into the segment of reality itself like it was nothing. He grabbed Nagato and erased him. Not just burning Nagato, Naruto burned his very soul. Konan made a mistake by turning into paper. With a simple word, with a command, burn. every single ounce of her paper caught the flames. She burned away into nothingness. Naruto stopped himself, feeling the amount of power but understanding that if he were to accept this completely, he could not stay in this world for much longer. Naruto pushed the power back inside of him. His flesh started to return, his skin, everything started to return. Naruto collapsed, taking deep breaths. Looking at his hands that were now there once again, he got to his feet. So he was right all along. He truly was a god. The god of fire and rage. Naruto blitzed back to the village. Some were injured and some were dead. Naruto held his hand up and created a second sun. Yes, you heard that right. He created a second sun in the sky. But this second sun, it was different. It healed everyone within Konoha. It also restored the fire in those that were dead. They just died, so Naruto was able to bring them back. Naruto could feel the power. If he were to stay in that avatar power that he had a moment ago, his soul would be completely merged with the flame-raging god, who he truly was. Because he was he, but at the same time he was not. Because he was rejecting it. But if he were to fuse with that, everything would change. The power that he had, it would be too risky to use it on his planet. It would be turned to ashes. But due to his ascension, Naruto could feel what was at his disposal without merging. Reviving the dead who just died moments ago, Konoha was beyond shock. Time skip. Informing those close to him what truly happened. They couldn't believe it. Hinata started to act strange. Naruto wanted to know why. However, she felt like she wasn't good enough. He was a god, he was above them, and she felt like she... Hearing those words, Naruto simply smiled before he started to chuckle. What's so funny, she said. She had no idea when she stopped stuttering. Maybe it was just because she was around him. Maybe because he was there with her. She didn't know, but he was just... She hated the fact that they could no longer be together because he was... She was silent as he kissed her. In Naruto's mind, she just looked so much more cute. But he did not care about that. It was one of the big reasons why he rejected completely merging. He still had enough power to protect the village and his people. But if he completely merged, well, things would be a lot different. That sealed everything, showing that he was not going anywhere anytime soon. But now Naruto had an army. Yes, he had an army at his disposal. He decided to use that army rather well. You see, these dragons, these mythical creatures were aspects of himself that he created. They were connected to him in many ways. Naruto could warp space and time, he could burn space and time, allowing some of them to do the same as well. Naruto could potentially erase entire timelines with his fire breath if he were to merge, but they had a lesser power than that, which would be great right now. Naruto sent them out to locate Orochimaru. Orochimaru could hide, but he can't hide away from what was at Naruto's disposal now. Naruto finally got what he wanted. He strung Orochimaru up and burned him for what he did to the third Hokage, hunting down the remaining members of the Akatsuki. The masked man tried to hide away, but Naruto remembered the feeling that he got. He searched any glimpse or any sign of that feeling, that little distortion that showed his last position. Naruto brought the dragons along to accompany him. It was mostly the golden dragon, who literally burned through the space that was there, allowing Naruto to step into the dimension. The masked man tried to flee out, but whenever he did, the dragons would always appear. One-on-one they fought. Naruto shattered his mask. Naruto saw who he was, but Naruto incinerated him and his little creature known as Zetsu. Naruto never told a single soul who was under the mask, because it would cause a lot of emotional stress for his sensei. Just like that, the Akatsuki was dealt with. Days passed, days turned to weeks, and weeks turned into months. And thus, Naruto Uzumaki grew. Konoha and the Sand had a tighter relationship, but soon after, due to all that has been accomplished, without risking anything, without risking anyone's life, the Mizukage, a beautiful woman known as Meitorumi, wished to ally herself with Konoha. So that was a great future fix. Years passed by, 16 years to be quite exact. Naruto was now in his 30s. Despite finding out about who his father was, Naruto never changed his name. He met his parents. He also did one better. He released the nine-tailed fox. Naruto could not be killed like a normal jinchūriki. He would survive no matter what. Not to mention the dragons and all the mythical creatures. They had knowledge, not to mention the knowledge that was currently at Naruto's disposal. The Nine Tails was now free, never to be hunted. In the past, Kumo had tried, but because of it, Kumo and Konoha were now allies. It was actually a duel between the Raikage and Naruto. The Raikage was cocky and he fell. Since that, he started to respect Naruto's strength. Even after a while, trade dealings started to be formed with none other than the Hidden Stone. Naruto did not become the Hokage. Sasuke did. You see, Sasuke Uchiha stepped up. He had what it takes, especially after what happened with Danzo Shimura. Danzo Shimura had tried to control Naruto and Tsunade. It was there they found out a lot. Danzo was a very cocky, arrogant person. Sasuke was pissed, to the point that he wanted them all to burn the elders, but it was mostly Danzo Shimura. Sasuke had the enjoyment of killing the man, because Danzo believed that he could manipulate Naruto's mind, believing that things were not going his way, that he should be in charge. Tsunade had saw it in that moment. Sasuke wanted change. He wanted to make sure that Itachi, someone like Itachi, was never forced to do something like this ever again. Thus, Sasuke started to become the one to make that change. He took the reins. Being Hokage was never Naruto's thing. He was the right-hand man of the Hokage, but it was never Naruto's thing. At the moment, Naruto was able to expand his family. He had a son, a boy named Boruto, and a girl named Himawari. Through the years, Naruto has never truly merged with what he was, but he's only gotten stronger. Life was good. Sasuke had 2 children as well. It seems like the both of them were trying to compete with one another even through their children. A young boy. The stigma of Itachi's name, it never truly went away, due to the fact that, well, it would be seen like the elders can simply plan to eviscerate an entire clan without much of a problem by using one of their own. The girl was named Sadara. The boy was named Fusachi. Their children were currently attending the academy, all desiring to become ninjas. The both of them were having a, well, good life. Not to say there hasn't been struggles. Not in terms of power though, because these two have become the strongest. It seems like they finally achieved their dream. Well, Naruto mostly, but Sasuke was right there as well. Unfortunately though, this is not where our story ends. Not in peace and prosperity. Jiraiya was still alive, along with Tsunade. Jiraiya and her had retired, no longer running his spy network as he was no longer in charge. Naruto actually take over, but Unlike him, Naruto had many disciples at his disposal in order to keep things a-going. But the both of them were old now, and they were relaxing that good life. However, this was not where the happiness comes to an end. This was not where they get to live in a peaceful world because enemies were still out there. You see, Naruto has awakened that power once again, and thus, a meeting took place. It's been years upon years upon years since they've been called back to the planet. It was a few of them, but their numbers were not large. One of the most noticeable one was named Momoshiki, a part of the Akatsuki clan. They've been able to pinpoint where the flames came from. It was a generational past that spoke about the one that was going to resurface. The power that was going to resurface to burn them all. They believed Naruto to be a threat, and they were going to annihilate him. All the Atsukis were getting themselves ready to come to the elemental nation and lay siege to the entire planet and kill the definition of flames itself. Perhaps they couldn't have in the past, but he was mortal now. Because he's resurfaced as a human, their scouts had given them that much information without being notified, but they can't give anything else. The planet, going by the elemental nation due to their little structures of their small components of homes, in their clusters of villages. However, they refuse. They refuse to allow their existence to be destroyed. You see, the Akatsuki clan had 5 elders, and there was a prophecy that he will return and he will burn the universe. He will scorch it. But they didn't understand what that prophecy truly entailed, because they were about to start something. Something that led to a different chain of reactions that would change life for every single being in the vast universe. But guys, I'm be ending this right here, guys. Let me know if you want movie 2, guys, because this is movie 1 in my movie series that I'll be starting on this channel. Movie 2 will entail the life of Naruto having children and, well, more aspect of the Akatsuki clan, more OC, more different venues that I've never explored before. So yeah, let me know if you want movie 2, guys. But this is movie 1. Tell me what you think and tell me if you want more movies like this, guys. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.